Hello, hello! How are we doing tonight? Hopefully everything is functioning. Looks all good on my end. Got the music down, so the music shouldn't be screaming. I completely forgot about the timer tonight, but it's not usually like, I don't know, a necessity? A lot of people don't even have timers. It's just one of those things where, like, I do my whatchamacallums. Since I go through Restream, I schedule stuff because YouTube likes it when you schedule events for live streams. You can't do it on Twitch. So because I schedule them on YouTube, I'm like, oh, let me put the little timer up so people who are waiting for the event aren't like, ooh, you know, when is it gonna start? Like, is it gonna happen? All that kind of jazz. It's not as big of a deal for Twitch. But that way folks are not sort of waiting and stuff. But regardless, I hope you had a good yesterday. If you were here with us on Monday, I hope your Tuesday went well. I don't know if anything significant would have happened between a Monday and a Wednesday, but if it did, congrats. I just looked over at my Twitch chat, y'all, and the little gift sub thing is at the top, because, you know, we affiliate now. And it's got TK at the top for the little gifty sub things, and it just made me smile. Speaking of which, I did change ad placement, so it should not play an ad until 25 more minutes in, because I set it to like 30 minutes after stream starts is when ads go, which you can skip if you're watching on Twitch, if you subscribe. But I was like, because it originally had to do it for 5 minutes after the stream starts, and the problem with that is I hit start stream 5 minutes early and the little timer starts 5 minutes, and so the second I like pull up on the screen and I'm like, hello, how is everyone? Ads. And while there's no one usually here at the very beginning, so it's okay for that to happen, I do not like the concept of jumping on, waiting for a stream, and then just being like, excuse me? Ads? Advertisements? Like the timer countdowns to advertisements instead of the person or the stream you're gonna watch? No, thank you. So I moved it to 30 minutes. So that way by the time people jump in, we're chatting, we're doing things, then we actually have a little bit of time to chat and to talk and to get into things before any ads start. Because otherwise that sucks balls. What else do we got here? Yeah, chat looks fine. Okay. Mods are up. Cool. Oh, I added a few of y'all to VIP because mainly because TK gifted subs, but also because I was going through all of the new like abilities we have as affiliate, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna add more people to VIP. Yay! You figured out how to use your Prime! Hello, that's my sister, y'all. She figured out how to put her Prime up. Thank you. I appreciate you. Now I'm gonna have to make you VIP too. Hold on, wait. There might be a little something off if everybody else in my stream is VIP except my own sister. Although that's kind of funny. Not gonna lie, that's kind of hilarious. Oh, do I remember how in the hell I did it? That's the question. Community maybe? Yeah, community. Alright, I'm gonna add you to VIP. She said, bro, I don't need the title. I already know. Bitch, get out of here. I am the OG VIP. You can fight me, bro. I'm about to not give it to you just because you said that. That's about to what's happened. No, I just gave it to you, so you get a cute little badge now. You know what's funny, too, is because you figured out how to attach Prime and, like, use the subscription, once our artist finishes creating the badges for subscribed members, you're also gonna have a little, like, skeleton dragon demon next to your name, and that's gonna be cute as hell. Cute? Scary? But it's funny because I watch a lot of streamers that have like their parents that'll hop into chat, or because everybody's always like, oh, my parents watch what I do, and I'm like, Nah, bro, it's my sister. Like, God forbid any of my adult relatives watch this shit. Please never put it on. If you are ever here, do not watch this. Only my sister allowed to be here, and those are facts. Oh my gosh, I swear to God. But hey, that also means that our sub goal went up. So now we only need 2 to hit our sub goal. Let's go. I was telling folks, was talking earlier about the channel points in the bottom left corner of chat. That is where you can make fun of me and ask me to do weird shit. But I was telling my lovely sister that there's literally a channel point thing that lets you make fun of me when I don't get the joke, because she said a joke on Monday and I didn't get the joke. So I was just like, no, I don't get jokes so often that we literally have a channel point for it. You know, I don't think the goal for the Dragon stream is up either. I don't know if I'll put it up yet, because I kind of want to focus on all of the Candela work and creating a campaign, just because I think building a community TTRPG campaign is like dope as hell. Like, what is cooler than genuinely being like, I have an idea for a character or a campaign, but no one will ever see it because I don't have friends. You do now. We are your friends. We are here to make the campaign for you. So I think this will be cool. Oh, it did give you the badges. Oh, I just looked over. Oh, it gave you the badges. That's cute. Well, cool. Now I can get some of that Jeff Bezos money. I can get a whole $2.10 of that Jeff Bezos money. A whole two. Did the music stop already, or is it just quiet? It's quiet. Cool. I want it to be quiet because I better be loud as hell. There ain't nobody better be louder than me on this stream, music included. I get a little bit of that Jeff Bezos money because he doesn't need it. Let's be honest, he don't need that money. I'll take that $2.10. Oh my lord, y'all. Oh my lord. Okay, so let me go back up to Stream Manager. So that way it's up here and I can see it and we got it running. And then I have mod screen up. Oh, my duckies are cute today. My duckies are cute today. This is one of my favorite chokers. I wish it was a little tighter. I don't know why I have a tiny ass neck. I mean, I guess it's because all of me is tiny, but I have a tiny neck because all of these chokers are loose in the front. And it's like, I wish they were tight because I want it to be tight. It's the point of a choker. And then it would help the duckies sit a little better, but they're not sitting too bad. Yeah, they're pretty cute. I'll allow my duckies to stay. Sometimes they flip, which we don't want, but it's all fair in love and war and duckies. Let's see. Okay. Let me pull up. Really? The thing it just shared. So my Discord shares a notification whenever I go live or like videos are scheduled or post or something. The image that it just shared to the Discord is me doing this with the ducky. I'm like, bro, of all the images you could share. Oh, it is what it is. I always try to pick the funky ones for the YouTube videos too, because I like putting the funky ones in the thumbnail. Try to make other people look good, but I want funky shit. I don't want normal shit. Okay, so we can get to work on this campaign. I know we have I don't know how long it goes. I didn't actually check the page length. I know it's at least 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, damn. We might have already done that one, but we'll keep going. 5. I think it's just the history page. So maybe 4 or 5 pages we're gonna try and do tonight. We'll see how it goes. See if anyone's chatty or if we want to get through them. We've got the history of the country of Hale to go through, which is the country that our game takes place in. So, let me bring you over so y'all can see it too if I know my buttons. Yay, my buttons! Okay, so we're gonna work with History of Hale tonight. For those following along in the book, if you have it, buy the book, it's fabulous. This is page 92. So, let me read this. We're not going to show it on stream because it is secured, so you're not supposed to share it. Even though I did it in my very early streams because I didn't know. But now we know. So, okay. So this says about our country of Hail. Hail occupies the western shore of the region, once conquered by the Farron people. In ancient times, the Farron Empire extended through Hail, across the Glass Sea, into Otherwhere, and throughout the rest of the Faraway, the Hailan word for countries in the northern region. Wow, can you imagine if you just called other places Otherwhere and Far Away? Like, what is the Shrek one? Isn't it called Far Away? Isn't it like a land or happily ever after or something like that is the land in Shrek? Oh, that's hysterical. Far, far, far away. Okay, I'm not crazy. I thought it was far, far away or something like that. So this is literally out of like a fucking Pixar movie. No, DreamWorks movie. Like they said, we don't want to bother with naming the other countries. We're just gonna call it Far Away. Like Shrek. Oh my gosh, bro. Okay, so so Western Shore. We want that note. See, I gotta flip back and forth between my pages. Hail equals Western Shore. Actually, you know, we should probably do bullet points. I really prefer bullet points for stuff. It keeps it nice and clean. And sometimes otherwise it's annoying. So bold and then bullet points. Okay. So, Western Shore. In ancient times, the Farron Empire extended through Hail, across the Glass Sea, into Otherwhere. Okay, so Farron Empire went through... Why can I not spell worth shit? Went through Hail into Otherwhere. Cross Glass Sea. Okay, so we know the Farron Empire is the one that used to rule like all of the Fairlands, and that was long, like thousands and thousands of years ago. And then Far Away is the term, we'll put it down. I actually think it should be its own term because it's kind of like a separate terminology, so the Far Away. But we're gonna do it like the ones down here, I think. So let's double this and do term for, I guess we don't need to write term, huh? So, other countries and regions in the world. I don't think they're specific about where in the world. The Hailan word for countries in the northern region. They are specific. Okay. So, other countries in the northern region. Because Hail, even though it says Western, I'm almost positive Hail is also supposed to be the northern. It does say Western Shore. Okay, we'll put Western Shore then. Western Shore. And we'll see if we need to come back to that and reassemble. Reassemble? What? Words? Discuss it in case we have gotten it incorrect. This made it the most widespread and wealthy empire in this period of history. Like many countries that share a common ancestry, people's food, language, and culture have traveled through communities, regardless of modern borders. Gotcha. The ancient city of Faria is often referred to as the earliest major civilization within the Fairlands. Okay, so that gives us another term. We're gonna bold it. Faria. Ancient city. What else do we want to say? Earliest major civilization. Earliest major civilization. Oh, specifically within Fairlands. Okay, got you. Within Fairlands. Okay. I don't think I have a within abbreviation yet, so I'm actually going to copy that and put that into my abbreviations list so people know what that means. So we're going to add it to our with, we'll put it on under with and without. So within. I always like to have abbreviation lists. I kind of do it the way if they ever made you study maps in like high school and stuff where they have sort of a key and then you go into it. I like to do that with my abbreviations and any sort of term that might not be commonplace, or maybe I abbreviate it differently than other people, because that way you're not just trying to read through the compendium, which is public, by the way, so in case anybody would like the compendium or would like to use some of the resources, all the resources at the top are public, let me know, I can share the link. But I like to do that so you're not reading through and go, huh, what? And you don't have to feel super confused. Boomy wants a kingdom? Listen, Boomy already has Omashu, okay? Boomy doesn't get anything else. I think the Bronze Age past of the Fairlands is fertile ground for ideas. I like that, Theta. Also, hi, Theta. It's good to see you. I think so, too, because there is a class, sort of called, their version of classes in this game, that is Explorer. And so if somebody picks that class, I think it would be really interesting to have someone be an archaeologist or someone who is going into the past and going to dig sites and specifically looking for artifacts, Bronze Age artifacts. What kind of magic, what kind of supernatural things would still be left from these thousands and thousands of years ago, and what do they mean differently from nowadays? So I think the Bronze Age past would be a really cool idea to play with, because I've also not seen... Now, I did have a few people reach out to me on their ideas for stuff and saying that we can use their resources, so we're going to look at some folks' resources, but I haven't seen anyone dealing with this old of material from Candela Obscura. Some folks go in, right, you go into Old Fair. A lot of people do that in their campaign. Some folks will even go back into, like, the time of Iamene. But I've never seen anyone bring up Faria or bring up the Faraway. Some people do make up their own countries that aren't Hale, that aren't New Fair, which I think is cool, but it's still modern time period for when the game is taking place. So I think it'd be really interesting to go into the nitty-gritty parts of what Faria was like in these ancient times. Victorian archaeology was fun. Theta, once again, you are filled with knowledge. Tell me about Victorian archaeology. I wouldn't even think about archaeology during that time, right? Like, that is such a concept to me that is so honed in the idea of going to, you know, classic like Indiana Jones style where you go and you've got the little pickaxe and you like find an idol. That's how honed the term archaeology is to that idea in my brain. Please tell me about Victorian archaeology because I want to know about it. I'm genuinely curious as to how it works, what they would find. What is it that I don't know. I'm just kind of interested in the knowledge, I guess, is the easiest way to say it. I also don't want that capitalized. It was a new field of study then. Oh, so you're saying it like originated, at least on the western side of the world, in Victorian era. Happy to share? Good, good, good. Yeah, please tell me everything because I imagine if it was a new field of study, then there was probably a lot of things they did that maybe we look back and we're like, oh my god, they didn't use gloves, right? And so bones deteriorated or pieces were lost. I know there's a lot of things you're not supposed to touch because the oils from your hands can ruin them. Like, and that's why people wear gloves nowadays. What did they do back then? Did they have any idea of practices and stuff, or were they completely blind? Because I'm curious about that. This is negative 1474. We know that. Negative 1474. And then what else does this say? So this city and its people, we're talking about Faria here, fell to the ancient Farans and transformed into the place now known as Old Fair around negative 915. Okay, so those are in our timeline that we wrote earlier. Ooh, brain. So negative 915 is down here. And we have the Ferrari. I really wrote Ferrari. Wait, that can't be. Is that what it says in the timeline? Does it call it Ferrari in the timeline, or did it autocorrect? Hold on, guys. I have to check now. No, it definitely says Feria. And it Did I write Ferrari? Oh my gosh, y'all. Faria. Lord help me. Dropping dynamite down shafts to surface ruins? That is autocorrect? Okay. But that is crazy. I mean, I guess if you don't know anything about archaeology, right? If that's how you would clear mines, is you would use explosives in order to burst new holes into the ground. So I guess in that style of thinking, it would make sense to burst places in order to get to archaeology. But that's crazy because nowadays, like, my brain goes, why would you use an explosive when it could damage all of the things you're trying to look for? Like, they could just be buried and you whoop, blew them to smithereens. That's crazy. Okay, so basically what we've learned with Faria is that it was the city before, not just before New Fair, before Old Fair. So Old Fair and New Fair were part of the Farian people sort of conquering Rome style. Faria itself was straight up long before that. So we're talking like, I don't want to use terminology I don't know, but we're speaking like a whole different culture. So let's go ahead and put this in here. Actually, we know timeline dates, so we might not need to keep timeline dates on this section of the compendium because we have timeline dates earlier. Yeah, so let's continue with the rest of what it says. Old Fair reigned as a wildly prosperous and... Oh, now we're going into Old Fair, though. Okay, so I do want to put fell to ancient Farans, right? Because that was not clear in our timeline. Yeah, that was not clear when we were writing out that timeline. Okay, now we're talking about Old Fair. Which, this is the fun one. I know I capitalized that F, and I don't think you're supposed to. You are not. Okay. Old Fair is the fun one because this is the magic that people usually use in their campaigns. Evie and the Mummy makes a similar complaint. Glad someone else is like, excuse me, aren't you going to destroy the things you're looking for if you blow them up with dynamite? Oh my gosh, I love that. Good for her. Oh, I'm spitting everywhere. I know y'all can't see it because black lipstick, it's one of the benefits, but drives me crazy because I can feel it. I gotta bring paper towels back in here. Okay, what is next on our thing? We're on Old Fair. Okay, here we go. Old Fair reigned as a wildly prosperous and technologically advanced civilization and became the hub of both trade and technology within the Faran Empire. Okay, so hub of trade and tech in Faran Empire. Okay. This city-state expanded in power and influence, most notably during the reign of Empress Iamene. We know about her. Until its mysterious destruction under the brief rule of Emperor Calenus. The turn of the Common Era, or 0 CE, is the signifier of this great fall, a time when the massive rift known as the Vast Chasm split the Glass Sea. This flooded the city of Old Fair, burying it beneath sediment for over 1,000 years. Okay, so what we're going to put here is Fell Mystery, because the actual history that is taught to the people nowadays, because the common people, wow, words are going to be fun tonight. The common people do not know that magic exists. So as far as the common people know, it mysteriously fell during Emperor Calenus' reign, and we have that up here in our timeline. Right up here. We have the Vast Chasm as well. So we're just gonna say maybe fell mysteriously, because I think it can fit here. Mysteriously? Yeah. And we'll leave that there and see what next is up. There was this German enthusiast who carried a copy of the Iliad in one hand and a spade in the other and set out to find Troy. He succeeded! Holy shit! I'm sorry, but you know you're badass if you are essentially a cartoon anime protagonist where you have a literal book of the Greeks and then a fucking shovel. And you're like, I will find the city of Troy. I cannot die until my mission is accomplished. It is my destiny. Like, that's hysterical. More power to that guy. He's a fucking king. Oh my god, good for him. I wish I had that kind of balls. Usually, stories like that end with the person never finding it, right? Like, they're usually, I'm going to find the lost city of Atlantis. I'm going to find such and such pirate's gold, and no one ever finds them. So that's crazy that he literally just set out and found Troy. I mean, it does happen, though, because really recently, we found Amelia Earhart. And that was a thing that in my lifetime was supposed to be a thing we would never find. Like, it was a mystery, she was gone, we would tell stories, people had been searching the areas they thought she was, and yet they found her. So these things really do happen, and it's kind of crazy when they do. He blew a not insignificant portion of it up. Oh no! Okay, maybe our German anime protagonist is not a king. Maybe he's like, maybe he's what's one under king? He's in the royal court. We give him accolades for having a goal and accomplishing his goal, but ooh, you shouldn't have blown it up. Yeah, Theta, we found Amelia Earhart. Isn't that shit wild? I had no idea until one day I'm scrolling and I find something that says that, and I was like, there's no way. And I Googled it. We found her. Like, they're 99% sure it's her type of energy, which is crazy shit. A mystery I genuinely never thought would be solved. Like, because I grew up with that, like D.B. Cooper, the guy who jumps out of the plane with like $100,000 and a parachute or whatever, and they never find him. So maybe one day we'll find D.B. Cooper. Maybe one day we actually will figure out who Jack the Ripper was. I think that one's a little too old. But all of these stories that were never supposed to be solved, they were just lore and legends, we solved one. That is crazy to me. And sometimes it's very much the balance of, oh, those people are crazy, they're gonna live their lives never solving it, never finding it, never fixing it, and someone's determined enough does. And that is amazing, because it's a real hope to humanity. It goes with science too, because we have a lot of things of like many people in my generation will be like, cancer will not be cured in our generation, and I don't think it's going to be cured in my generation. I think I will long be dead. Hopefully it'll still take me a while to die. Knock on all the wood. This is real wood. I will knock on it. But I do not think cancer will be cured in my generation, and there are a lot of science ideas like that. But then again, there are things that we do find cures for. And we're like, that was not supposed to be a thing. And yet we find it, and we have it. At some point, there was no cure for the plague. We vaccinated it. So these kind of things are crazy. DNA from one of the victim's scarves indicates that the Ripper may have been a Polish suspect. Oh, interesting. Polish suspect. That's pretty cool. I think when we get down to like the past history of Jack the Ripper time period, I think that's way too long ago to actually get an answer for. I just don't think it's a thing that's going to happen. I guess Amelia Earhart was a long time ago, but there's also the argument of, as mysteries occur while we improve technology, it also makes those mysteries easier to solve. So the jump between however long our time has been from now to Amelia Earhart, that's a long time. But we also have to remember she was operating in a time where you could fly a literal plane. So there was technology and stuff then that make it easier to solve than back in Jack the Ripper's time. I kind of hate that because it confirms the prejudice of Victorian police. Yeah, they were not great. They were not great at the time, and I think anything that's sort of, you know, when it's not gonna ever be figured out, I say take it with a grain of salt and almost take the attitude of like, who gives a fuck? Like that kind of lore is for making stories. That is Sherlock Holmes territory, where I think it's been enough time. We're never gonna know. Use it for your stories. Create with it. Stop giving a fuck about the reality of it and who actually did it and all that kind of jazz. I just don't think it's helpful. I think it's better to continue on forward. Personal opinion, but I always am living in the moment, so it's kind of the way I roll. But it is what it is, I suppose. Where did my brain go? It disappeared. Yep, okay. I'll continue reading because my brain just up and whooped right out. Okay. We are on Old Fair here. So we know that it got buried. That's in our timeline. We know the vast chasm. That's admirable. Well, thank you, Theta. I appreciate that. It's partially because fun Rachel lore, I don't have memories, like, kind of at all. So it kind of forces me to live in the moment, which is on one hand good, on one hand sucks. But I just kind of have molded my life around it. So it's a philosophy that I run by, is I'm here, I'm now, we function, versus past or future or any of that jazz. I rarely meet, it's so funny because it surprises a lot of people because that ideology is usually normal. They've met other people with that ideology. It's when I start explaining how it applies to everything that people are like, what? Because I mean everything. When I say live in the moment, I literally mean nothing else, because they'll be like, oh, well, you know, it'll eventually fold into like, well, don't you want to like build a life of whatever to have a legacy? Or if they believe in religion, they'll be like, to go to heaven or to go to wherever. I'm like, oh no, I don't care about any of that. None of that bothers me. I don't need a legacy. I don't believe in going anywhere. I'm not religious. I don't care at all about why the universe was created, how humans were made, if there is or anything after death. I do not give a single shit. That is like how much live in the moment I am. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. I have no thoughts ever of what any of that is like. It's helpful when you do like horror and stuff because then nothing bothers you. It's a great time. Okay, we're getting into the wars. I just looked at this paragraph and it's gonna be the wars. So let me make a section for the wars because these are the ones that get a little bit confusing to me because I'm not great with names. We could probably still keep them over because this is history. Do we want to make a section for war? We'll keep it in here. So it's not just about remembering, but also being remembered. Yeah, anything that entails in not living in this current second and this current moment. And when I say that, I don't mean like, oh, I have no idea what I'm going to do on Thursday. Guess I'll figure it out when I wake up tomorrow. No. Like, do I make plans for a weekend? Yes. Okay, don't take everything I say literal as fuck. Like, calm down. But I just mean I don't plan like months ahead or anything like that. Like I'll fucking call up my family and be like, hi, I'm gonna show up in 2 months. Quit my job, bye. Like, in less exciting archaeological matters, we developed pottery chronology in the 19th century. That's dope as hell. Don't say it's less exciting. Are you kidding? I love that. Wait, what do you mean by pottery chronology? Like we studied pottery and clay making in order to determine time periods? Is that what you're trying to say? Like how they do that with rings of a tree? Because that would be what I would think you were trying to say there. Okay, I'm going to write these 3 wars down. So this is War of Embers. And then Halen Civil War. Halen Civil War. And then Second Great War. Go down one for me. Second Great War. Okay, so these are our 3 big boy wars. I'm gonna put in parentheses because this is also called the Last Great War or something like that. Oh, yeah. The Last Great War, because we discovered that earlier. We sequenced styles of pottery chronologically. Theta, this is still going over my head. I regret to inform you, this is still as in, the pottery that we had found, we started determining where it went in history? Is that what you mean? Lord help me. I don't get anything. This is why on Twitch it's a channel point command where you can say, whoops, I do not get it. What else does this say? Okay. So the War of Embers, Halen Civil War, and the Second Great War, later rebranded as the Last Great War by Premier Remedy Mallingson. We got that one. While the specter of war has passed, present-day competition for resources and technological advancement across the northern region threatened to invoke the horrors of conflict once more. To understand the full historical context of the Fairlands Valley and its place within Hale, it is important to examine the historical events leading up to its admission as the 12th region of the nation. Okay. So, Fairlands Valley became the 12th region of Hale, or Hale became the 12th region? It also is not giving me details on the wars, so hopefully it'll do that in a second. I'll keep going, but hopefully it does give me details. Yes, okay, cool. Moving on, hieroglyphics were deciphered in 1822. 1822? That feels so early. Oh my gosh, that actually feels like really early. I would not expect... Oh, did my music just stop? Alright, we'll ignore it. Hopefully no one needs to listen to music. 1820... Well, I guess not, right? Because that's around America being developed era, so I guess that would give England a lot of time to do a lot of shit. Okay, fair enough. That's kind of interesting, though, because I know we did have codes of our own that would make their way around World War... Oh, God, history. Is it World War II that is the famous story of those guys who were trying to decipher the big code, and then they had to there's a movie on it, and Benedict Cumberbatch stars as the main dude. I don't know if it's World War II or World War I, but they have to, let them bomb a whole city, because otherwise they'll expose to the Germans that they knew what the code was, and then a new code would be made, and it wouldn't be helpful. I think it was World War II. But, the Enigma machine. Yeah, that's what it was. So I know that a little bit past then, I guess a lot past then, actually, we were creating codes of our own, but it's interesting to think that we had already figured out how to crack. I guess hieroglyphics aren't a code, right? But you would work on it the same way as you would a code because no one's here to tell you the language. So it's interesting to think that we were able to crack, in quotes, or discover or figure out what languages were all the way back then. It was cracked by a Frenchman. It was brought to Europe in the Napoleonic period. See, that's crazy. We were actually figuring out codes back in the 1800s, let alone all the modern day stuff where we are throwing crazy things in here. I mean, even this book has its own code that people have been going through and cracking, and I'm like, how do you do this? How? I don't think I have the brain capacity to be able to sit down and try and figure something like that out. Don't think I could do it. Okay, so let's see what else this is going to tell us. The history of the modern-day Fairlands region began in 1219 CE, with over a millennium after the fall of the ancient Farron Empire, and during the violent War of Embers. This religious war, also known as the Ascendant Inquisition. Okay, we're getting details about the war. Thank you. So, War of Embers. Religious war. And I'm going to put the other name here, Ascendant Inquisition. We'll make sure that's bolded too. Okay, so religious war. Fun fact, the Rosetta Stone is like a no smoking sign. It's multilingual. That's so cool. Wait, do you mean that the Rosetta Stone logo is literally a no smoking sign? Or are you trying to say that it translates into all languages like how a no smoking sign is readable by people who speak different languages? Either way, that's dope as hell, and I kind of love that. Howdy, just popping in for a moment since I'm chatting with friends at the moment. Hi, Seven. I'm glad to see you here. Feel free to leave if you need to. If you want to mute me and put me on while you talk to your friends, that's fine. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Dinosaur. We're gonna have to get little baby dragon emotes or little baby like spiders or something that you guys can use. We're working on it. No, the artifact is in 3 languages. Oh, damn. I did not know they could do that, Theta. What the hell? That's crazy that back then they were kind of like, ooh, what if we could just put it in that means they knew multiple languages too. Huh. That's interesting. But yeah, Seven, it's good to see you. Do whatever you need to do. Tell your friends that this random streamer says hello. We're just working on more compendium and community stuff today. Okay, so War of Embers. So this war had the public goal of driving heresy from Hale, but served the dual purpose of consolidating political power for Hale and many countries of the faraway. This war forced thousands of refugees from many nations and cultures to seek shelter within the secluded valley of the Fairlands. Okay. So, goal of driving heresy from Hale. Okay. Goal of driving heresy from Hale. It's Egyptian, Greek, and a sort of hybrid called Demotic. Okay, I've never heard of that, but that's kind of dope. Did people speak Demotic or write Demotic, or is this just like a language that only exists within these sort of artifacts, and they don't know if people actually used it? Egyptian and Greek do both make sense, though. I think they're relatively, like, I don't want to say in the same location, but I think history-wise they have crossover. Heresy from Hale. Okay. Forced refugees into the Valley of the Fairlands. Forced refugees into Valley of Fairlands. So in other words, the War of Embers. Okay, so what happens? Old Fair falls, it gets abandoned. Cool. Then in Hale as a country, they have the Valley of the Fairlands, where Old Fair used to stand, and before them was Faria. Now that it's abandoned, they essentially have a whole section of their country that nobody kind of uses and nobody lives there until the War of Embers, which is the Ascendancy, was going around probably like the normal Inquisition with the Catholic Church, and basically being like, you have to be our religion, we're getting rid of all the heretics and the witches and shit. And so refugees decided, well, the only place we can go where there is nobody is the abandoned Old Fair Valley of the Fairlands. And so they went into there and started the new city, which is New Fair. This makes sense. At the very least, people wrote in it, especially in the period to which the stone dates. I guess that does make sense, because why create a stone with a language that nobody writes or speaks in? That would be kind of weird, I guess, unless we considered it code, but that's interesting then. Huh. Because I know there are some languages that maybe were written but not spoken, or only spoken and haven't been written down. There's a lot of languages and stories like that. That's interesting. Learn new things. Thank you, Theta, for that knowledge. That's really cool. Where am I at in this description? Okay. At the time of this conflict, legends from the fall of Old Fair described the Fairlands as a desolate wasteland, cursed by the gods, flooded by the sea, and devoid of life. While this was true for a relatively short period after the splitting of the Glass Sea, this widely accepted belief allowed the refugees to remain hidden and safe while they established the city of New Fair. Okay, so let's make this one, and I think this one, into bullet points. Okay. Refugees stayed hidden because Old Fair, but because Valley was seen as cursed and desolate after fall of Old Fair. Okay, I like that. The Ascendant Inquisition reminds me of the Albigensian Crusade, which was about suppressing a heresy called Catharism, which may not have really existed. Whoa, that's cool. I've never heard about this crusade or Catharism. Please tell me all about it. I want to know. Tell me every little detail now about Albigensian. Because I grew up Catholic, so I only know the basic, like, Spanish Inquisition. We ran around and we slaughtered people. And that's about all I know. So I'd love to hear of this one, which may not really have existed. That's crazy to actually fight for something that didn't fucking exist. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is after the War of Embers. Following the War of Embers, New Fair benefited from the diversity created by refugees from all corners of the continent pursuing a common goal: to establish an accepting and prosperous community for themselves and their children. The vibrant city of New Fair exploded into a kaleidoscope of culture and served as the catalyst for the larger Halen Renaissance. As New Fair grew, so did its needs, and thus the Triumvirate was born, the first central government of the Fairlands. Now, we might have Triumvirate already written in here. I'm actually going to Control F because that's what this document is for. And I'm going to look for Triumvirate. No, we only have it in our timeline. Okay, then I'm going to add it here. Triumvirate. And then we can get off of our scroll F. That's one of the reasons that I made this compendium, so it was easier to Control F and look through everything rather than trying to search through a book. I was like, oh. Catharism may have been a general term for a variety of views objectionable to the church. Oh, so, and it was popular in certain parts of France. So rather than it being like an actual religion, it was more of like, people are naysaying us, we're putting them all into a group and trying to get rid of them. I see. Okay, that makes sense. First central government of the Fairlands. So that's what we'll write here. First central gov of Fairlands. Okay. What else we got? The fierce independence of the modern Faran people was challenged in 1822 CE, when the corrupt and power-hungry president of the neighboring nation of Hale, Conrad Harcroft, led a violent insurrection against his own government in an effort to seize total power and control of the Halan nation. Okay, first things first, we got a person, so let's check for Conrad. We do not have a Conrad. Okay, so we're going to add Conrad to our people list. People. People are at the bottom. Notable figures. Okay. We are going to add Conrad. Boop, boop. Oh. It's 2, I think. 1, 2. Yeah. So, Conrad. I'll scroll it up so you guys can see it. Conrad Harcroft. Okay, so he was power-hungry president of the nation of Hale, led the insurrection to seize total power and control. Okay. President of Hale led an insurrection for total power. And control. Okay. President of Hale led an insurrection for total power. And control. Okay. President of Hale led an insurrection for total power and control. Okay. President of Hale led an insurrection for total power and control. Okay. President of Hale led an insurrection for total power and control. Okay. President of Hale led an insurrection for total power And then what else does it say about him? Which cast the country into a brutal conflict and spurred the Fairlands into action. They entered the Halen Civil War on behalf of the rightful Halen government, fighting to defeat the president and his forces. Together, the Fairlands and the legitimate government of Hale defeated the corrupt president and his loyalists. Okay. Because president is not their top person in this universe. So, caused the Halen Civil War. Caused Halen Civil War. Okay. Oh, almost forgot. I think he's a he, him. Yes. Okay. He, him. Okay. So we've added our person. Now let's go back up to the top so we can add context to the Halen Civil War. History, Halen Civil War. Cathar theology was very concerned with purity and self-denial. They believed that the physical world was created by the devil. Wait, so then what do the Albigensian people or the church people believe then? Because that just sounds like normal religion. Most big boy religions are all about, like, don't use the physical world, you must be, like, in tune with God and stay pure. So then what was the objectionable one that was going against them? Like, what were they trying to... What was trying to get rid of them? What were the church ideologies? Because that's interesting. I would think that would be the church ideals. Okay, so the Halen Civil War was when Harcroft... See, it does say he's... Okay, so he tried to take over the actual government. Okay. President Harcroft tries to take full control over Halen Gov. That would be our Halen Civil War. And then what I want on my bullet points is that the Valley of the Fairlands people spurred the Fairlands into action. They entered on behalf of the rightful Halen government. Yeah. Fairlands people joined war on behalf of Halen government against Harcroft. Okay. So... Together the Fairlands and the legitimate government Hale defeated the corrupt president and his loyalists. Yes. We know that. The Cathars denied that God was creator of the physical world. Oh, interesting. Theta, that's very interesting information about a religion or a theology back in that time period, because I understand why the mainstream church, whatever religion it was, would have disliked the fact that this other people didn't believe God created the physical world. But the consensus that's interesting, because parts of that were taken further. Because if you go further or closer to modern times in history, there is the concept in a lot of major church religions that material things and material possessions are like the devil or temptations, and you need to stay away from them, right? Because you have monks and things who live off the land, or brothers and sisters if you're Catholic that go off and denounce all those things. So it's interesting this period in history to have the major religion being like, no, everything is made by God, only to later take bits and pieces of the idea of like, okay, well maybe material possessions are bad. That's interesting. I love these history lessons that you bring. They're genuinely so much fun, and I learn all sorts of new bits and pieces. Okay, to prevent such a heinous act from happening again, the Halen government permanently stripped the presidency of its broad executive powers and offered the Fairlands admission into their nation state. The citizens of the valley accepted this offer, contingent upon the guarantee that the triumvirate was granted vast legal autonomy to continue to govern the Fairlands region. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of what we knew about the Halen stuff. So basically, Harcroft loses, Fairlands agree to enter into country of Hale as long as their triumvirate stays in power of Fairlands. Oh, I must have spelled it wrong. Yes, I did. Okay. Monks show up quite early in the Orthodox Christian world. They do, don't they? Aren't they pretty much like... That's why it's so interesting that all these different ideologies and stuff and concepts are happening in religion during these time periods, because it's like everybody has a different concept on what something means. Hi, TK! Wait, what are these emotes? Well, I cannot see that. Yo, what is that? TK, you gotta tell me what that emote is. It looks cool, but I cannot tell. Not on the chat thingy I'm using. Wonder if I can tell on my actual... If I pull up the Twitch one. Oh, they move! Oh, it's rock and roll. It's a guy with a guitar. Cool. Oh, that's cute. I like those. Oh my gosh, I like those. Those are cool. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Dope. I love when people bring emotes into this chat. We're getting some made, but it'll take a little bit. I love seeing those. Those are cool. Those are cool. How you doing, TK? We're working on the history section of the rule book right now to make sure we put all our terms into our compendium. And Theta and I were talking about different religions and things like that because we had interest into the Ascendancy Inquisition part of the history. Now I'm just making sure that I get the rules right on the Halen Civil War here. Yeah, so, stripped the presidency of its broad powers. That's the other thing that I wanted to add. So, Harcroft loses, and then Hale strips presidency of its broad powers. Then Hale is like, yo, enter into our country. They call it a nation state, because you don't really enter a country, I guess. And the Fairlands is like, sure, but we don't like your weird, shitty... I mean, we fought for your government, but apparently we don't want your government. We want our government in charge. Which, fair enough. More power to them, I suppose. Unbeknownst to the citizens... Unbeknownst to citizens, the peace following the Halen Civil War was only a brief reprieve before the unimaginable horrors brought to their shores by Otherware during the last Great War beginning in 1898. Now, we don't have an Otherware term, although I want to add an Otherware term, but they don't describe it super well. I think Otherware is just other countries besides Hale in the world. They don't describe it super well, so it's kind of like because see, this is other, but that's what Faraway is. This is why I was confused, is because I thought Faraway was other countries in the world, but I think Faraway is other countries in the north. So is Otherware countries in the west? Or is it countries everywhere? That's what I'm a little confused about. Several other countries in the Rebland... No, Otherware is in the north, because they're in the Northern Economic Alliance. So then what's the Faraway? So, other countries in the northern region. So okay, we need to go back and check what Faraway is. Because I don't understand what the difference is. Because otherwhere is definitely in the north. Or is it just saying otherwhere is a country and far away is the term for all of the countries? So is this a country in the northern region versus all of the other countries in the northern region? Let's see if we can find it. Far away. Is it gonna let me control F on this PDF document? It might not. Okay. Okay. So in ancient times, the Farron Empire extended through Hale, crossed the Glass Sea, into Otherwhere, right? Because Otherwhere's up. Although it's technically down on the map that we look at, it's a little confusing. And throughout the rest of the faraway, the Halen word for countries in the northern region. Okay, so I think they are trying to say that far away is the term for all of the countries. So all other countries in the northern region versus otherwhere is a specific country in the northern region. That seems to be what this wording says. Yeah, that seems to be what this wording says. So that's what we're going to go for. Okay. So now we can detail the last Great War and see what that brings to us. Okay, so last Great War is here. Space right there. Okay, the last Great War. Now this is where Otherwhere supposedly shows up on their shores for no reason, which I don't believe for a second. We have to write, and that actually might be a good plot idea. There might be a good, because I think what we're gonna read is that they tell people that Otherwhere showed up trying to get new fairs or the Fairlands resources, because the shiver happens, there's a famine, and every other country's in famine except for the Fairlands. Well, every other region, Hale, the rest of Hale is still in famine. So I think the argument, we'll read through it, but I think the argument is that Otherwhere is invading to steal the resources because they need them. I would say, I think that's going to be a lie. I think in our universe of Candela, we're going to add a magical or supernatural reason to why Otherwhere invaded if Otherwhere was even the first to invade. Or if some fuckery was happen in the Fairlands and thus war was had. Because I love the idea of it not being so black and white as Otherwhere is the enemy, they're the bad guys, and the people of the Fairlands are the good guys of the war. Because we know they're not. Because they bombed their own people to stop the war. They blew up their own people to stop the war. So we know the Fairlands have done bad shit. So I really like the idea, especially if someone plays a soldier in our campaign, of them possibly being either from Otherwhere, and them being like, I pretend not to be, but I'm trying to take revenge because they lie to you about what actually happened in the last Great War. Or if they fought on Fairland's side, maybe they still know the truth, and part of their trauma is the PTSD of like, I went in there as a young boy fighting for my nation, and then I saw these people and realized they were just hungry. They're not fancy. The sun never sets on the Farron Empire, right? I really like these concepts of, it's something to play with for the idea that nothing is black and white in this universe, because I hate things being black and white. I really want the option and the opportunity, and that's why I like doing these community ones, is because you guys can be like, what if actually this happened? Or what if actually this happened? And we can throw it in there and we can play with it, because there can be timelines and dates and we can follow the concept, but then when we throw in real people, and because it's going to be a group of actors portraying your guys' ideas, they will harness and they will genuinely take in whatever your thoughts are and perform this. So this is going to be really cool, and I'm excited for this. But we're going to do the last Great War. I'm going to get some death water. We love death water. I'm actually going to take another sip. funny about the fact that we call it death water is like, Liquid Death is a brand, but it's actually water, unlike what I drink. I can't imagine. One day when we have merch, we'll just have water bottles that say like death water in cool font, or maybe like acid dripping down or skeleton death water font. And then I'll be competing with Liquid Death. We gave Otherware medicine, roads, education, and they were ungrateful. Theta, these quotes are so good. Oh my gosh. And I'll bet you that is what they say. Like in the history books that they are teaching kids in school in the Fairlands in our universe, that is what the teachers are saying. That is the teachers being like, we tried to help. We knew that we were a prosperous nation, but they took advantage, right? So that's kind of crazy. Oh, I love this. Let's see what the book says, and then we can think of ideas to change it and fuck with it. The other big thing about the Last Great War is in the time period that we technically play at, things Victorian English people said, yes, that kind of energy is what I want. But the interesting part about the Last Great War, in the time period that we play at in this game, this war ended 3 years ago. So it's not like exactly what I said where they're opening up history books and even the teachers were not alive for this war. The kids in these classes would have been alive 3 years ago when the war ended. Their fathers, their brothers, if they're in high school, would have been in the war. So it's not just, oh, we open a book, look, we're telling people lies. It's like if I had to compare it to something like American style, it's waving the fucking flags, walking our soldiers down a lot. Like, it's very, very in the culture type of energy. And I think there should be a section. If we want to pick a certain place on the map, we can. I think definitely towards Westrek, if people maybe still live in Westrek even. But there should be a section of maybe some of the people who were on the front lines, down and dirty in Fairlands, where they know the truth, and they are not about the pride and I'm trying to think of the word that countries use. Nationalism? They are not about it, right? They know the truth, and so they hate that these city people are like holding parades. But in maybe some of the wealthier neighborhoods or some of the certain places in the city, you've got the people who are like, how dare you say something bad? My brother fought in that war. That kind of thing. Patriotism. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Patriotism. I appreciate that. Terrible business. Can't imagine what possessed them. These quotes are everything, Theta. Oh my gosh. These quotes are fantastic. We're going to have to like scroll through and keep all of these quotes and just make sure that I'm going to like write them into dialogue. Like, these are great. But yeah, there have to be sections of our version of New Fair, or maybe a little outside of New Fair, that do not have this patriotism because they know what went down. And then there's parts of New Fair that are very patriotic. And if you try and say anything, you're going to get your ass beat. And then, of course, there has to be the section of like, probably maybe a little Briar Green territory, or maybe the Market territory, where it's young people who are sort of the 60s vibe of like peace and no war and we shouldn't have fought, and if you were a soldier, you're a disgusting like people who are like that, where they're like, oh, but they're not the gritty realism of the people who were in the war, who are like, I was there, I fought, I don't like your patriotism, but I'm going to stay gruff and silent. They're the young people who weren't in it, don't know what happened, have no idea what fought, and yet they're really like outspoken about it. There's these all different categories of people. So I like this sort of triangle of, we did the right thing, I have veterans in my family, blah, 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 we got to support it. And then they sort of lean into the, I was there. You treat it like it's God sent and it's amazing. And they sort of lean into the, well, I wasn't there, but I know it's wrong. And everybody's wrong. Both of you are wrong for doing it, for liking it, or for supporting, even if you didn't like it, right? Because there's that triangle. A pacifistic student movement. Yes. And it's one of those things, right? The war's done. The war's over. So I don't think it's active protests or anything. And I also don't want to necessarily portray a game where we are... In our time period, in our current day, I don't necessarily want to play a game where we are negatively and only negatively looking at protests. I don't think that's helpful. But there are absolutely, like, if I compare it to something I know, which is LGBTQ, when you're a young person and you are just falling into an ideology, you are so outspoken and deep into an ideology, even though you've never lived it. You've never experienced what those people have experienced. You do not know what it's like. You are just spouting things that are told to you. We have that camp of people, and then we have the actual people who were there. The actual people might agree with you, but they also know that you're a little big for your britches, and you shouldn't be telling the people who were there what they should believe. And then you've got the other section of people who are there who are like, well, my cousin, and so it's a really cool dynamic that I think we can create here. I'm actually going to put this onto our compendium just so I remember it. Not our compendium, our campaign concepts. Let me switch over because I don't know that I'll remember it. So I love that we wrote uh-oh. So I'm going to write triangle of I was in the war, you don't know what it really was, and young people who are against it but didn't live it, and the super patriotic my cousin was a veteran, don't speak ill folk. Okay. Yeah, I like that. My son served in the last Great War. He was entrusted with an administrative position in the colonies. Yeah, exactly. Exactly the idea of, you know, oh, we were heroes and war heroes, and kind of Caine Mutiny style, where were you a war hero or did you fall into that position? Very Hemingway. What's his one book? Is it? I'm trying to think of his big book that's very war based with the nurse. Catch-22 is not the nurse, but Catch-22 is one of my favorites. Catch-22 is all about the different situations of actually serving and how some people do nothing and are in the seat of power, and some people genuinely fight and are good people, and some people are just in it for whatever. So it's like a beautiful, and it's from, I think Catch-22 is Heller, and he was in the war. And that's part of the reason I like a lot of books in that time period, is because Hemingway, Heller, all these people who wrote, I forget who writes Caine Mutiny, but he was in the Navy or something like that. All of these people who are writing from this perspective that they lived. And I, hopefully, knock on all the wood, will never live that. I don't want to live that. But I love reading and learning and experiencing from these people who did. And might not agree, might think differently, but you can't deny how they feel because they were there. They lived it. They are still alive. Fox Daddy, did you just subscribe? No way. Hi, Fox Daddy. It's so good to see you. Oh my gosh. For 6 months in advance? Holy Jesus, Fox Daddy. You've been silent. Wait, have you not talked at all? Bro, did you just stop in and then subscribe for 6 months? You're a king. What the hell? Hi, Fox Daddy. I hope you're doing well. I'm so glad to have you here. Holy shit. You just got here? Bro, you're a king. I'm so glad to see you in chat again. We are one away from that sub goal, and we just got the ability to have subscribers. We just reached affiliate last stream. This is amazing. This community is fucking god tier. Oh, hold on. There's 2 from Theta. I am not even going to try to pronounce that in Latin. It is a sweet and fitting thing to die for one's country. Yes, Theta. The Lost Generation. Thank you, Theta. That's exactly the energy I'm going for. Hold on. Let me put that on our sheet, too. Fox Daddy, I love you. Thank you. You missed the celebration? No. You're okay. We didn't really celebrate on Monday. We just kind of lobbed ourselves into the campaign. I was actually genuinely so thrilled and felt so warm on Monday because so for Fox Daddy, for your context, for kind of the month of May, possibly the entire month, we are working on, as a community, building a TTRPG campaign. So kind of like D&D, different universe, but we are, as a community, creating the plot, the creatures, the characters, the NPCs, all of it. And then I have a cast of players that are going to perform what we create as a community for the next month. And so I started that on Monday, not necessarily, expecting anyone but y'all lovely people who usually show up. And we've had a bunch of new folks, and it's been such a wonderful time, and you guys have been so receptive. And I'm so glad to see you here, Fox Daddy. Yeah, I'm really excited. Oh my god. Theta, hold on. I'm going to add the Lost Generation to our list because that's exactly the term I was looking for. I want to have elements of the Lost Generation in here because I think that would be really cool to pull from if somebody decides to play a soldier. Now watch me get our actors together for session 0 and I go, okay, what did you guys think of? And not a single person brings soldier to the table. It just means we're going to have to create an NPC in this month that was a soldier. We're going to have one. Let's pop over to the compendium so we can finish writing for the Last Great War, because we didn't even stop it yet. Dude, this is awesome. We only have one more subscription on Twitch before we've reached our 5. Hell yeah. We're only 2 days in. Y'all are so amazing. I don't know if I've ever said that, but y'all are so amazing. GG. I want to have emotes made so badly. There's one artist in our Discord server who's a part of our community. She is making subscriber badges. So everyone who's subscribed is going to get a cool badge. So it's based on dragons, because in case y'all don't know, I'm goth. Technically I'm a punk, but goth is easier for people to understand. But I also have a love for dragons. They are my favorite thing on the planet. And so I have a whole collection, which I gotta start that goal, because apparently you can do channel point goals, and I made one for showing you guys my collection. Oh, we got another one here. Hold on. Wait, what is this? Fox Daddy is gifting a tier 1 sub to the community, to Skunky Designs. Fox Daddy, did you just reach us our goal? Oh my god, Fox Daddy, thank you. Holy shit, dude. You're so awesome. Oh my gosh. Look, TK and Fox Daddy, you're both on the gifted board now. Oh my gosh. Hi, Vampy. It's good to see you. Guys, this is so amazing. Holy shit. Oh my god. This is crazy. Did you try, Vampy? It's no worry. Sometime. Yeah. Congrats is like, I'm so excited. This is amazing. Well, we've already reached, this is crazy. I don't even have words. I don't know how to take the sub goal down. Oh, I love that emote. That emote's fire. You're okay, Vampy. It's no worry. I don't know how to take the sub goal down. I'm not that technical. I have no idea how I would even remove it. So it's going to stay there. And it's going to stay fully completed. And we're going to praise our lovely gifters, which are TK and Fox Daddy, and our other subscribers, because y'all are fucking amazing. And you will be getting your own badges. That's what I was saying. So I love dragons. So you'll notice the tier 1 level is a hatchling. So it's a little baby dragon. And we have a lovely artist in our community who is making original drawings of dragons for that subscriber badge. So you guys are going to have a really cool badge soon. I'm not sure when, but it will be up. And I think that's going to be cute as hell. what just happened? Fox Daddy gifted one to Vampy. Oh my gosh, Fox Daddy. Fox Daddy. Fox Daddy, thank you. You're so sweet. Vampy, now you're here too. Oh my gosh. Yo, 6 out of 5? Bro, save your money. You're crazy, y'all. You're crazy. Daddy is right. Daddy is right. It's in his name. Daddy. Wait, here, Fox Daddy. This is for you, but I swear to God, if you clip this, I'm gonna beat you. Here you go. Thank you, Daddy. Oh my God. Oh, Lord, help me. That was funny as shit, actually. I love being a voice actor. There's nothing I love more than making people uncomfortable. Don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare. No, do it. Clip it. You know how viral that shit will go? Clip it. Clip it and save it just for you. Oh my God. It's so funny because it's an option for channel points. I was adding different voices I could do because TK on Monday, our lovely first subscriber ever, y'all, was TK. Amazing. During the ads on Twitch, he asked for like a newscaster voice. And I was like, I do know how to do that voice. So I added it to our list of channel point options. I added newscaster. Whoa, dragon emote. Dragon emote. Where's that dragon emote from? I'm gonna fucking steal that. Where is that from? But I added newscaster and radio host to our channel point stuff because I was like, ooh, I can do those voices. Who knew I could do those voices? Vampy, I'm right there with you. Twitch RPG, can I just straight up use that emote? Is that actually a thing? Is that really a thing? Can I just straight... Twitch... RP... Oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna spam this emote like there's no tomorrow. Oh my God. Oh, Wyverns? Vampy, you know what's funny? Wyvern was one of the names I was considering calling the subscribers. But we ended up doing hatchlings and then worms and then dragons are our 3 tiers. TK, that is awesome. I fucking love that emote. Oh, Skyrim dragons. I got you. Yeah, I was considering it for a bit. Because wyverns are dope as fuck. They're really cool. I read that chat. I'm potentially everybody's daddy. What's up, Vampy? How's it going? What do you got to say? Let me make sure my compendium's going okay. Sorry? Oh, we were doing the Last Great War. Okay. So, I'm gonna preemptively say Otherware invades. Nah, we won't do that because this is the compendium. We'll say Otherware invades. I think it's specifically the Fairlands. I don't think it's Hale. I mean, I guess you're invading the country, but... You got a job for a game as a voice actor? Vampy, that's amazing! Oh my gosh, congratulations! Vampy, I'm so excited for you. Oh my goodness. Now, don't tell us what it is, because sometimes you're not allowed. But when it releases, make sure you put it in our self-promo channel, because that is amazing, Vampy. Oh my gosh. Good for you. That's fucking quality. Oh my lord. Okay, let's read a little about the Last Great War, and then we can develop some of this history for our campaign. Gonna go to official studio to do the demo reel. Good, you should. I remember we talked about this before. Always go to official studio to get that demo reel done. And it's gonna be awesome. You're gonna have so much fun doing a demo reel. They're amazingly fun. Mine was like genuinely so much fun to do, mainly because the guy who I worked with I know well and he is excellent, but also because he let me sort of work on creating the pieces with him, because I very specifically was like, I don't want a normal demo reel, and he was like, okay? I was like, I want a demo reel that represents who I am. And so the very first piece in my character demo reel is a horror piece, because horror work is my favorite. It's what I specialize in. That's my jam. So I was literally screaming in that booth. The scream in it is real. It's me. Every voice in there is me, except for that first male one. That's him. Tried out for a couple of games. Doubt I'm getting picked. You never know, Fox Daddy. You never know. Keep your options open and your hopes high. What's up, Vampy? What am I guessing? Tell me what I'm guessing while I read this paragraph here. Okay, Last Great War. In 1894, a period of extreme cold weather known as the Shiver gripped the world, severely cutting food production for a majority of northern nations. That's right. We got to make one for the Shiver, too. Okay, hold on. Let's see. The Shiver. Extreme cold that brought famine, I believe, is the way to put it. Because extreme cold does kind of kill out your crops. Cold weather, known as a shiver, severely cutting food production for majority of northern nations. Okay. That brought famine to northern nations, except the Fairlands stayed productive. It's a horror game? Vampy, that's so cool! I thought you said you picked a horror character. I mean, Fox Daddy, you know I love me some horrors too. So I won't get to see it. I'm no good with horror games. That's okay, Fox Daddy. We'll tell you the plot. We'll clip pieces of it and then we can play it to you. Made with Unreal Engine 5? Vampy, that's dope as hell. Oh my gosh, I can't wait till it's out. You're gonna have so much fun working on that. So much fun working on that. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. Okay, let's see here. In response to the Shiver, Hail, Otherware, and several other countries in the region established in the Northern Economic Alliance. Let's make that its own tab too. Whoops. Northern Economic Alliance. So this is an alliance between the northern countries, including Hail and Otherware. Okay. It will be on the Steam and Epic Store. Vampy, I'm so excited for you. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so cool. I finished recording my lines a couple days ago. Hell yeah, Fox Daddy, that's dope. Did you like my song? I did, Vampy. It was really cool. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, I did wanted to tell you, I decided I'm not going to be doing any private coaching for a while. I think I want to focus on this channel and content creation, so I just wanted to let you know about that. But I did listen to your song, and it sounded so cool. Your voice is really pretty, and I'm so excited for you on this video game. Oh my goodness, that is so dope. Okay, what's the next line here? Signing of the Treaty of Salomir, okay. Treaty of Salomir. So this was signed to create the Northern Economic Alliance. Okay. Let's see. This economic union created a brief period of prosperous international trade, boosting the wealth within this portion of the world to an extent unseen by such a vast, unified economic alliance since the time of the ancient Farron Empire. Unfortunately, this period of prosperity ended on Midsummer 12, 1898. Damn. All right, well, I guess we'll put that into the Last Great War. So, Midsummer 12, 1898. Okay. Midsummer 12, 1898. When an Otherware naval vessel attacked and destroyed the HMS Brilliance. Okay. Otherware naval... Let's actually put this... I'm going to do this. War between Otherware and Fairlands. Otherware naval vessel attacks and destroys, correct? It did say destroys. May I join the D&D? So Vampy, what we're doing is we are all, as a community, and you are welcome to help with this, creating this plot and characters and creatures over the month of May. So every live stream we're going to be working on this, and then I have a team of players already set who are going to perform it for us. So the campaign we make, you guys in chat, us here together every night. Can you create your own character? You absolutely can if you want. You go for it. I can't guarantee it's going to be in the plot, but you're more than welcome. Like Monday we created a lot of creatures. So if I come over here, let's see. We created, Seven and TK created axolgators. So they're axolotls mixed with alligators. And so those are one of the creatures that are going to be in our campaign. We had ideas of maybe people who use magic for too long go crazy. My character is a vampire elf. Sure, if that's what you want to have in this world, you can have it in this world. It probably won't be in our campaign because we don't kind of do the traditional fantasy classes. But, like, that's your original character. So have whatever original character you want. Her name's Kate? That's so cute. Oh, I love that. That's adorable. That's really cute. Okay. So HMS, it did destroy the HMS Brilliance. Attacks and destroys HMS Brilliance, which I think is a Halen merchant ship. Okay, so let's make HMS Brilliance its own thing. HMS Brilliance is a Halen merchant ship. Oops, did not need it to be spelled like that. So destroys HMS Brilliance and a Halen merchant ship en route from New Fair to deliver food supplies to nations within the Northern Economic Alliance. Okay, now Otherware is a part of this alliance. Yes, it is. So that was going to deliver food supplies. Okay, so we're going to go down here, which is en route to, no, from New Fair. From New Fair, I think is what it said. She's looking for a vampire king. Hell yeah, she is. Yeah, from New Fair. From New Fair with food to Northern Economic Alliance areas. Oh, guys, this whole idea and cons and the lore that they're telling us fits perfectly with our idea that Otherware is not just the evil guy, because the ship that got destroyed was carrying food supplies to help the countries in the Northern Economic Alliance, which Otherware was already a part of. So why would they destroy a ship that was bringing them food? That makes no sense. I love this. We're fucking with this. Wish I could play D&D with Neil Newbin. Oh, we all do, my guy. We all wish. We all wish that was the case. Okay. Within weeks, Otherware sailed to the western cliffs of the Verge and launched an amphibious military invasion of the Fairlands. Thus began the Second Great War. Okay, so Otherware naval vessel attacks and destroys HM Brilliance. Otherware sails to western cliffs of Verge and launches military invasion. Otherware launches military invasion on the waters of the western cliffs of Verge. I believe is what that sentence just said. To the western cliffs of the Verge, launched an amphibious military invasion. Yes. So this begins the war. Okay. This might parallel the sinking of Lusitania. If one were to be cynical, One could parallel it with the Gulf of Tonkin, an alleged attack used to encourage American involvement in Vietnam. Ooh, Theta, I like these parallels. Now, I don't know a lot about the exact instance you're talking about, but I have heard of things, which is why this sparks so much interest in me, of the idea of specifically maybe the Fairlands or the group hurting their own people in order to spur up involvement in the war. What's interesting is that it does specifically say that this war does not officially start until Otherwhere lands on the shores of the Fairlands. So it's not blowing up the ship that starts the war. It's them landing on the Fairlands. So I'm wondering if the country of Otherwhere was told that maybe the Fairlands did something to destroy the ship. Or maybe the Fairlands did something against them or refused. Maybe they don't even know the ship blew up. Maybe they were told that the Fairlands refused to give them aid. Maybe that's the problem. And that's why they invaded the Fairlands, because they said, you're the only place with resources. We are going to die. We will go to war if you will not give it to us. So the idea that Otherwhere was told false narratives, and maybe that's why they came on it, I'm going to add that to our concepts as well. Maybe Otherwhere was told a false narrative, or the Fairlands were told a false narrative about the HMS or the sharing of resources. I think that would be a really interesting thing to play with. It'd be really cool. Okay. Yeah, I love it too, Theta. I think it's a really cool idea. Let's see what else they say about the war here. Historians debate the exact cause of Otherware's aggression. Right there! Look, that line exactly. Historians debate the cause of Otherware's aggression. Guys, I'm all about this. Oh my gosh. Do we have a separate one for Otherware here? Yeah, we do. So, I'm going to do bullet points under this. And I'm going to put invaded Fairlands in Last Great War or Second Great War. So Last Great War. And then reasons, what did they call them specifically? The cause of aggression. Okay. Reasons for starting war are debated. I will put it under the Last Great War what the actual debated reasons are, though. Debated reasoning for starting war. Let's do little ones under and see what this says the reasoning is. Most people believe Otherwhere invaded Hale to seize resources, specifically the fertile land of the Fairlands, as Otherware's food supply was wiped out in the early years of the Shiver. That doesn't make sense, because the Fairlands were literally sending them a ship with food, and then they blew up the ship? That doesn't make any sense. So I think that's a bold-faced lie they're telling people. Otherwhere invaded because they needed food since Shiver wiped theirs out. What are the other reason it gives? Alternatively, a small sect of Candela Obscura historians think there was another catalyst for Otherware's aggression. They point to a single cargo manifest recovered from the wreckage of the HMS Brilliance that listed a dark gray stone structure containing a specimen from DS-347. Unfortunately, the cargo manifest has since disappeared and is believed to be nothing more than a conspiracy theory. Guys, this has to make it into our campaign. I'm going to add this onto our ideas. Here we go. We're going to make it a whole new one. Oops. Yeah, ideas to build upon. We should probably put these in ideas to build upon too. Let's take all of that. Uh-oh, where did it go? Oh, there it is. Cool. And then, so I want this to go the, oh shoot, it's gonna do the thing of putting it under there, isn't it? Shoot. Magic bag being secret. This one should be on its own tab. Its own little bullet point. No, don't do that. God damn it. Okay. This is gonna annoy the shit out of me. Hold on. Needs to go here. Thank you. Okay. False narrative about resources. And then this is specimen. Specimen from DS. So DS is dig site. Specimen from dig site. $347. Okay, now let's make sure we put that into our compendium too. I would want to put that down in artifacts. May you post a link in here? Yes, Vampy, you can. Fox Daddy also sent you a friend request. You may post links in there. I believe it will let you if you need to. Go for it. Let's see. There should be a section for artifacts and creatures. So I'm not sure if we should put... This is the dig site. 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 Oh, did it not let you, Vampy? I might have it turned off. It didn't block it on my end. Yeah, my bot is picky. I don't know which bot blocked it because it doesn't say it did over here. Okay, cool. I'm not sure if it did or not. Okay, cool. So, fun fact, y'all. On May 7th, the episode of Candela Obscura that I am in for Queer RPG releases. 7 p.m. EST, releases live. And the character I built, unfortunately it does not happen in this campaign, so I won't fully spoil it in case Queer RPG, hopefully, fingers crossed, ever has us back to continue our campaign. In the one that I did with them currently, the character I built, they're still kind of mysterious, and that's kind of what I like. I like my characters being mysterious, but I will say, Dig Site 347, I really, really like. And so, I will say, for the mystery of it, my character in that campaign has a little bit of something to do in their backstory with Dig Site 347. And it won't get fully revealed in those 3 episodes, but there is little hints here and there and bits and pieces that are suspicious, and you might be able to pick out if you know, or if we go through Dig Site 347 and you remember some of what we say, you might be able to be like, is that the thing we talked about? And it is, because I love Dig Site 347. So I'm gonna add this mysterious thing that apparently could have caused the whole entire war from Dig Site 347, which is crazy. That the thing I'm about to put could have caused the entire war. Who knew? Okay. So, I'm going to put it under probably recorded phenomena, maybe? Or should it be artifacts? I think it should maybe be under artifacts. That feels more significant. Maritime archaeology is more recent, I think, but submarines are consistent with the early 20th century setting. BioShock-style diving suits. Oh, I'm putting that onto our campaign concepts. So, let's see. Theta, that's going under your name. You are in orange. Let's see. Submarines. So, submarines exist. BioShock-style suits. I love that. That would be so cool to force them to go underwater. Oh, they would hate me if I made them go underwater. Do some classic deep sea horror. That would be cool as hell. Okay, so You point to a single cargo manifest recovered from the wreckage of a dark gray stone structure. So we're going to put here dark gray stone structure in quotes. And then I very simply am going to put on item on the cargo manifest found in the wreckage of the HMS Brilliance. Item from dig site 347. Yeah, guys, I love that. Beneath the waves, dread Cthulhu waits dreaming. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He's waiting for y'all. Oh, I'm gonna scare the shit out of these guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. We were still kind of writing about the war. So we're gonna put CO believes it may have something to do with the item from DS 347 on the manifest from the wreckage. Okay. So, we'll continue here and see what it says. Let me get a sip of water. Death, water, death, 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 water. Okay. Let's see. Oh, but it is considered a conspiracy theory. Okay, I do want to say that. Considered a conspiracy theory, even to CO. Yeah, because there was only a few of them. Okay. Nevertheless, the economic treaty was broken, and Hale immediately rallied its forces to defend against the invasion. Though the primary focus of the attack was the country's breadbasket, the Fairlands, citizens from all over the country enlisted in the Hayland Armed Forces. Now, I do think I have this term somewhere, so let me Control F. HAF. Okay, I have it down there. I don't have it its own thing. Okay. So we will make it its own thing then. Let's go back up. Okay, so Halen Armed Forces, or HAF. The military of Hale. The war lasted for 6 years. Okay, that's important. That needs to be up here. Lasted 6 years. Costing approximately 750,000 Halen lives. Holy shit. Okay, we are going to put that on here as well. Cost, or 750,000 Halen lives lost. Woo! Okay. Let's keep going. The deadly battles brought the front lines from the western coast of Hale right up to the edge of New Fair. Productive harvests and other natural resources allowed the people of the Fairlands to sustain themselves throughout the grueling war. But it was a mixture of national pride and resurgence of religious orthodoxy. Uh-oh, we might have some cult action happening. And a fierce determination to reject tyranny that led citizens to sacrifice everything in the name of their loved ones, liberty, and the right to self-determination. Okay, national pride, so patriotism, religious orthodoxy, and rejection of tyranny. Okay. People motivated by national pride, religious orthodoxy, and rejection of tyranny. I'm going to say hail people, I think is better. Because we don't know the otherware people. They could be motivated by anything. Alright, let's see. The discovery and harnessing of electricity, first in New Fair and then across all of Hale, allowed the Half to push back the colonizing forces of Otherware. That much we know. So we know that... Oh, they're going to give us dates. Okay, I'm going to wait. In the dead of the night, on mid-autumn 13, 1904. Okay, here we go. Now they're going to give us the ending dates. Whoops. Mid-autumn. I know it's 1904. What was the day? 13. Mid-autumn 13, 1904. The Halen government deployed a highly classified experimental weapon powered by volatile electricity on the battlefields of Westrek. The weapon generated a violent electrical storm that ravaged Otherware's forces as lightning bolts and wild electrical detonations rampaged across the battlefield. The next morning, citizens were horrified to find nothing but the charred skeletal remains of tens of thousands of Otherware's military forces scattered across the countryside. All of the Halen soldiers involved in this operation died during the event, and there is no evidence to suggest the strange weapons survived the blast. Only rumors. Oh, it definitely survived. Within 48 hours, Premier Mallingson received a telegram from the Prime Minister of Hale stating that Otherware signed an armistice to end the war. This operation is now known to the public as the Electric Event. Okay, so what I'm going to write here is, I'm essentially going to say dropped electric experimental bomb. And then we're going to say destroyed tens of thousands of Otherware forces. Oh, we can say dropped experimental bomb in Westrek, because that is a place that we can use. On Otherware forces, and all Halen soldiers involved died as well. Whoops. Dyad. People believe the weapon got destroyed, I suppose is the best way of saying it. It got destroyed, though there are rumors it did not. It still exists is probably the better way of doing it. It still exists. Okay. Anything else from here that we want to say? Because this was a pretty big one. I do want to say, well, that's interesting because it does say the discovery and harnessing of electricity first in New Fair. So it implies that it was people here and not other Halen soldiers. So I do kind of want to, we'll make a separate one for the electric event. The electric event, electrical experimental weapon that was dropped, or we'll just say dropped on Westrek to end Last Great War. I am going to do, in one of these bullet points, I'm going to put New Fair discovers / harnesses electricity first, then later Hale. Weapon believed destroyed, but rumors that it still exists. What else does this paragraph say? Oh, caused violent electrical storm. Let's say that in here too. Caused violent electrical storm, which was lightning bolts. And the other word they used The weapon gathered lightnings that ravage other forces as lightning bolts and wild electrical detonations. Once and electric detonations. Only charred skeletons remained. You're trying to write a screenplay? No way, Vampy. What's your screenplay about? Let's see. Died during the event. Premier Mallingson received telegram from the Prime Minister of Hale. Let's put that up here. So, Prime Minister receives... Nope. Nope. That's not what it is. It's Premier, because they call them premiers. Premier Mallingson receives telegram from Prime Minister of Hale saying Otherwhere signed peace treaty, I think is the word. What's the word that they use? Otherwhere signed an armistice. Okay, signed, which is essentially peace treaty, but armistice to end war. You might stream Baldur's Gate 3, though? Yeah, do whatever you want. Go for it. A love story between a vampire and a god and vampires versus gods. Ooh, I like that. That sounds like a really cool concept. Good luck on your screenplay. That'd be dope to see. Okay. So, what's next here? Following their victory, New Fair, always a hub of imagination. Nope, absolutely not the word. Following their victory, New Fair, always a hub of immigration, suddenly flooded with war refugees, particularly those from the now ravaged western countryside. Though the population boom was daunting for post-war infrastructure, the cultural adaptations born from this time transformed New Fair into one of the most vibrant cities in Hale. In the 3 years following the war, the country has restored itself. But like the wastes of Westrek, the collective psyche is permanently changed. While some have adopted an electric live-while-you-can attitude, others desperately seek restitution for the loss of an entire generation to the forces of Otherwhere. There we go, Theta, with the lost generation. You had it on point. You already knew. Oh. Fox Daddy might help me. I will lay to waste the vampires and their world. Yes. In an effort to raise spirits, encourage economic growth, and brand a re-election campaign, Premier Mallingson commemorated the lives lost and the brightening future by renaming this conflict to the Last Great War. Alright, so let's make sure that we write that as well. I'm going to write that under the war, I think. So, Premier Mallingson renames it Last Great War to encourage growth. Okay, so to raise spirits and for re-election campaign. If we're talking real reasons here. Okay. This now widely accepted title stands in direct opposition to the increasing fear among Halen citizens that Otherwhere will develop electricity and sail across the sea to take the Fairlands with more modern combat weaponry. Still, the people of Hale are beginning to live less fearfully, travel more widely, and adapt to a world transformed by war, and transformed yet again by peace. Oh, I like that. That was a really nice way to end that. Okay, so that's most of our history here. So we got Hale and the 12 regions. Awesome. We did the Last Great War. Okay, so we did more than I even intended to, which is awesome. Because those are the pages we just did. I love how we're going to go from this horrifying war that killed thousands of people, not including all the other people on the other side, and it's misconstrued, and there's magic, and there's evil, and now we're gonna go through the holidays. We're gonna list the holidays that the country celebrates. I love this. I'm gonna open a bag of our gummies while we do this. And munch on some gummies while we do the holidays. Holidays are on page 104. Okay. For anyone following along, it is 104 in the rule book. Okay. Yeah, now Rachel will have a sticky voice. You know, I very well might. But I probably won't because these are the good fruit snacks. These are Welch's. Yeah, these are Welch's. Now, I do wish they made the mini patches just for the blues and purples because those are the best ones. And like all the yellows and the oranges. But it's what it is, I suppose. I was watching a TikTok. This made me think of it. TikTok came across my feed that was like, you ever notice that Bethesda just keeps writing weird racist shit into their games? And it was so funny because it was like every game had a version of like, those filthy insert magical fantasy race here. And I was like, boy, it really is difficult for people to play D&D and TTRPGs without having racism. I'm like, it's possible. There's literally going to be none in our game. You can do that, but okay, sure, continue to do it that way, I guess. It's crazy to me that that's a thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. Now, that said, if anyone tries to come for my classism or my takedown capitalism, I'll beat people. I think classism is like, nope, this is gonna get me canceled if I say this. This is gonna be canceled. Somebody's gonna clip this. Somebody's gonna clip Rachel saying, classism is fine. Oh my gosh. High fantasy has always been racism and classism. Absolutely. I just think you don't need the racism. I just think you don't need the racism. I'm just saying. But I guess you don't need the classism. So, I don't know. I feel like classism is something you can change versus even in a game you cannot change your race. Right? Out here in the real world, it is not that easy to just change your class. I get that. I'm not saying it is. But in a game, it can be very easy to like... The depiction of classism is permissible, you mean. I just think it's... Here's the thing. Like in Candela, there are poorer sections, there are richer sections, there are middle-class sections, suburban sections. I think it is easier to be like, oh, there is a rich character who thinks that money solves everything, and in that way is classist because they don't understand why the poorer character can't just solve their problems because they're fine. I think that is easier to play with in a game and in a TTRPG setting because you can have an actual conversation around, hey, like the poor character can be like, oh, well, here's why you don't understand. Here's what's happening. Not all of us have money. This kind of thing solves your problem. And then that richer character can be like, oh, I'm experiencing how you live and what you went through. I get it. Versus having a character that straight up is like, oh, the thing I don't like about you is the thing you can't change. Okay? So what exactly is that character you don't like going to say in order for this character who doesn't like them to like them? There isn't anything. Racism is so like systemic and deep rooted in a place that is difficult to change that I think the depiction of it in a TTRPG setting is not, it's kind of weird. Just go Robin Hood on them at that point, right? Like, and I'm not saying that it's necessarily like, it needs to not be in anything. I get that you could have, like, people being like, oh, but you're a demon from hell. That must make you evil because demons are evil. I'm not saying you can't have characters like that. What I'm saying is when you take it from, like, video game or, you know, movie or TV show to I am now in a roleplay scenario with a character who thinks like this. That's what I mean. It's like specifically when you're jumping into TTRPG improv roleplay. In the video games, it's still a little, but those are also pre-written characters, right? And if they're significant to the plot, and this is an important part of the plot, okay, I hope you have someone who should be writing about it versus a random person. But if it's just a random NPC, that also feels weird. I don't know. Like, I would feel weird playing a game where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to play a Dragonborn. I'm going to walk into this town now and let me go up to the merchant where I have to buy my armor. And you just pull up the merchant and the merchant goes, oh, you filthy scaled people shouldn't be here. Anyways, buy some armor because I'm the merchant in this village. Okay. Like, that they're an NPC. Like, I don't care. That's weird to me. But I don't know. There are different depictions of it. Just go Robin Hood is correct. Like, 100% agree. Vampy, you're good. Step out, do whatever you need. We've gone on a weird tangent. And I do think there are ways to depict things, if you are the right person to depict them, that are sensitive. For example, there is on the list of, like, it's tough to be racist towards money. Capitalism wins all. Exactly, right? It's the idea of there's a very strong movement where people are upset because they'll see someone who goes on vacation and they'll be like, ugh, eat the rich. When in reality, that person is middle class. That person is not rich. The rich, the people we are rebelling against, are the top 1%. They are our Bezos. They are our Elon Musk. A middle class family with a mom and a dad and 2 kids who can afford to go to Disney World once a year is not your enemy. They are not the rich. They are on not necessarily the same playing field as you, but they are not the rich. So, like, there's a separate mentality that comes versus, like, racism and shit. And also, you can depict things if you are the people to depict them. For example, on my, like, checklist of stuff when I haven't technically casted them yet, but when I was doing callbacks and interviewing actors for this campaign, one of my, we absolutely don't play this, obviously racism is on there, homophobia is on there, but one of my, we do not put this in our campaign, is sexism. However, if someone came to me, even in this campaign, and said, hey, I identify as a woman, I have identified as a woman, I would like to play a character who comes from a place or deals with misogyny in her life and is actively fighting against traditional female roles. I would say okay, because I have lived as a woman, they have lived as a woman, they've experienced what they want their character, if not to the same degree, to our real world extent, what they want their character to go through, their journey to be like. As long as we are both people who can properly represented and have consented to the idea that, hey, I'm going to actively be playing that misogynistic person towards you, you need to consent to that, then that's fine. The same way where I'm like, homophobia is not played at my tables. It's not played in a campaign. But if you came to me and was like, well, I don't necessarily want to make homophobia a thing in your world, but I do want to have my character's parents not be okay with it. I'd be like, cool, give me a little more background, give me a little more justification. We need to tell the rest of the table and make sure everybody's okay with me playing the antagonist to that. That is what happens. It can be done. The same way whereas, like, I cannot do, because I'm white as fuck, I will never ever, at tables I run or characters I play, fucking put racism in my TTRPGs. But it is not my place to tell a person of color that they can't do that. I'm just saying I do not, because I have absolutely no right to depict that shit. Not how this is going to work. So, it goes back to the idea of nothing is black and white. Because nothing's black and white. Everything is in a gray spectrum of if you are the right person to represent it and everybody in that situation is consenting, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. So, like, there could be sexism in our campaign if the table's fine with being bystanders, if the person playing the character is fine with me being the antagonist, and if I consent to being the antagonist. So, it is what it is. That was a long-ass spiel, but I love these kind of talks. It's one of the reasons I love doing this shit is because I get to chat with y'all about concepts like this. And this is kind of my favorite thing to do is, like, talk and discuss and philosophize. If I was a man back in whatever time period where philosophers reigned free and could say whatever bullshit they want, oh my god, I'd be living in heaven. Where they just get daddy's money and then they get to spend their years going, but what if the sky was green? And then they get more money, like, that, I would be the best of the best. Oh my gosh, bro. I don't even know what page I'm going to now because we got off on such a tangent. Holidays, 104, okay. 104 with holidays. We have so much we can do. We have transportation. We have language, technology, economy. Oh, we're going to have to go through all of these. But let's go to 104 first so that we can do holidays. Okay. I have some biases I need to work through with regard to the depiction of physical disability in fantasy. Absolutely, Theta. And that's a huge... I'm glad that you recognize that in yourself, because there are places that we have to recognize that for ourselves as well. There's a huge push towards properly representing disabilities, whether mental or physical, in TTRPGs, in gaming, in fantasy, and all sorts of worlds. And I'm there too, right? I am constantly learning and changing and improving and trying to recognize these things about myself, because Candela Obscura in particular... things that when your character takes damage, they take them in categories. So they take them in brain, they can take them in physical stuff, or they can take them in magical stuff. And the idea of being aware that when you take a physical injury, you need to be careful of, like, there's a balance between, oh, I literally was just, my character was just in a situation where somebody cut off their hand. So their mark is literally their hand is gone and now they have a prosthetic hand. Great. That can be a part of your character even though you don't have a prosthetic hand. But you have to be careful not to be like, oh, well, this hand's not real. I'm going to whip it off and scare the guy. Like, there are balances. And I'm saying this as a physically disabled person. Yeah, Theta, see, you have the ability to know different concepts for you of what is comfortable, what is not comfortable, and you also have the knowledge to be able to help people who don't know. Like on X, when people couldn't understand why a god is in a wheelchair in Hades 2. I'm gonna guess Hephaestus. I don't know which god it is, but yeah, exactly that, right? There was, I know in one of Critical Role's Candela campaigns, someone who does not use a wheelchair was portraying a character in a wheelchair, and there was a lot of discussion on, like, whether it's TTRPGs, whether it's on film, right? Can you play and represent characters like that when you don't have the disability yourself? I don't know the answer. There's discussion on that in the gay community of Should straight people be playing characters that aren't straight or vice versa? Now that one's a little easier to answer because the answer is yes, they should be. But there are always discussions and we're not always going to have the right answer. And sometimes when we want to represent things, it is okay to do the research and then to try things, and it's okay to fail at things and to go back and be like, oh, maybe I should change this, or oh, I could see what someone's saying here. That's always okay. As long as you are like genuinely doing the research that you need to do. He is canonically from ancient times the crippled god. Oh, I don't know if you've said that in chat before, Theta. That sounds familiar. But that's amazing. Like, that's really cool that they did that. The thing that comes to my brain is in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Recently, production got very famous on Fifth Avenue. I think that's Broadway. No, maybe not. I think it's just New York City because it never went to Broadway, I don't think. But a production in New York City or on Fifth Avenue got famous because they actually casted a deaf actor for Quasimodo. Because Quasimodo is supposed to be deaf. And nobody's ever casted him as that. So it's one of those things of like, there are ways to work with it and to depict things. You just gotta like actually listen to the people who are experiencing what you want to represent. I'm fairly sure he said to have crafted some conveyance for himself. Oh, like he made some form of like like a walker or a stick or a wheelchair or something? Because that's kind of dope. Yeah, Fox Daddy. So he's never officially said to be deaf in the original novel, but by the description in the novel, basically what the novel is saying is that he has gone deaf from all the years that he's been living and ringing the bells in the church tower. And so the reason why, if you've ever seen different productions, the reason why the actor usually speaks with a accent that's a little weird is because it's a deaf accent. Because a lot of deaf folks can speak, they just can't hear themselves speak, which is why they can sound a little strange to us. But that's what that is he's actually supposed to be deaf. And so Fifth Avenue casted a deaf actor who used sign language, and then they had another actor who sang and spoke. So it was really cool. Hephaestus in the game has a prosthetic leg. See, that's dope. That's really cool that he like made his own piece. I didn't know that. I just thought he was special needs in a time where that was seen as a mutation. That's one of those things, right? Is like we very much we played him that way for a long time, and most people saw him that way. Most of the musical productions of it was that way, and a lot of performances were that way, where the speech pattern and the way that he was portrayed was, for all intents and purposes, simple. It's not the word, but that's the word they would have used. Or with a mental disability. But as people started doing research into it, they realized, oh, it's not a mental disability. It's deaf. And so the times have changed. But I don't think it is correct to go to somebody who originally was portraying it the way that they were and say, you're not doing it correct. This is a deaf character. You are insulting such and such. They thought they had done the research and were correct in saying that he was mentally disabled. So they thought, now, should it have been someone else portraying it? That's a different conversation. But they thought that they were portraying it correctly. So that's where we run into problems of like, that's cool, but it's new modern research that has developed actually that's not the case. What is this photo? Should I click this link? Oh, that's how he looks in the game. Wait, I want to see. I want to click the link. Oh, dude, that's so cool. Wait. And he's a person of color. Oh my god. Yo, this is like amazing. He's also like a larger figure. The fact that different body sizes are getting put into games and stuff too. Oh my god. That's excellent. Damn, Hades Town the Hades game just continues to impress. Because that's awesome as hell. It's not my style of game, but everything I hear about it or learn about it, especially from right now, continues to show me that it is awesome as hell. That's really cool. Huh. Dang, that's cool. Okay, now I gotta go back to... See, we've had beautiful discussions. I love this beautiful discussion. Oh, speaking of which, the Bell Tower Chorus is our next holiday one. Hi, Vampy. Good to have you back. Okay, so we'll leave out current goals. I know, right? Bell Tower Chorus. Okay, let's add a holidays section. I think holidays can come up here. So... It's on 16, I think, is the font. And then we underline, and we write holidays. Okay. We are on holidays. We're already 2.5 hours in. Holy Jesus. Holy bim Jesus. Don't know where that came from. The holidays of the Fairlands are either long-standing, traditionally celebrating birth, death, or changing of the seasons, or relatively new, celebrating exceptional achievements, either national or individual. The Bell Tower Chorus. The Bell Tower Chorus. Oop, that's way too big of a font. Oop, I clicked the wrong button. Okay, we gotta make that font a lot smaller. Holy Jesus. That's like 13, I think, is the font everything else is in. No, not the holidays. Shit. I hate when I'm highlighting the wrong thing. Okay. And then space. And then we haven't been doing these. We have been doing these. Okay, let's see what the Bell Tower Chorus is. Oh, well, let me scroll this up so you guys can see it better. Okay. An ascendancy celebration during which New Fair's church bells ring in unison, signifying harmony throughout the region. Participants engage in communal prayers, share meals, and listen to the cardinal give a rousing speech to all ascendants. Okay, so ascendancy celebration, signifying harmony in the region. Ascendancy celebration. We're gonna go... signifies harmony in the region. And then, it's back to the bold. Don't be bold on me. Get rid of that bold. Get rid of that bold. Thank you. So, New Fair's church bells ring in unison. Ascendancy celebration where they ring NF church bells in unison. I like to think that can be heard all over New Fair. Maybe even on the very corners of the Fairlands, like the Bridalborn Mountains. That might be pretty. Participants, so communal prayers, meals, and cardinal gives a speech. Communal prayers, meals, and cardinal gives speech. Okay. Cute. All right, what's our next holiday? Boom, 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 boom. The Gauntlet. Okay. That's an interesting name for a holiday. The Gauntlet. Ooh, someone did something. Let me go see what you did so I can say hello. Boo-doo-boo. Hello, Looter52. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. I love when people make that notification go off too because it's creepy and it's weird and I think it's cool. Thanks for stopping by. Feel free to say hi in the chat. We're working on a community Candela. It's a version of a TTRPG if you're a Dungeons & Dragons fan. We are working on a community campaign where everybody with chat for the rest of the month while I stream is going to be creating the plot, the characters, the creatures, the NPCs, everyone in chat is creating it together, and then my group of players will be acting out and role-playing and playing your campaign. So feel free to stick around, throw ideas if you have any in the chat. Very cool, thank you! Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and we've been having a lot of fun. The campaign that we're playing, it's a game called Candela Obscura, and it's kind of like a eldritch horror style of thing. So we've been creating a lot of cool creatures that, like, you know, steal souls and are mixtures of alligators and weird things and ghosts and all these sort of things. Right now we are working on the holidays of the world because I have the lore book for it. But if anything sparks your interest and you're like, ooh, that makes me think that this could be a cool creature idea, or this could be a cool plot idea, feel free to put it in chat, but also feel free to lurk, whatever your preference is. The holiday we just looked at, or we're looking at now, is the Gauntlet. So, let's see what the Gauntlet is about. So the Gauntlet is a race that runs through every district of New Fair. New Fair's our city, okay? So race that runs through all districts of New Fair. New Fair's our main city. Anyone may participate in an attempt to win the Champion's Medallion. Okay, that has to have its own little, whatchamacallem, line. So the Champion's Medallion. So medallion won by, I guess given to makes more sense. Given to the winner of Gauntlet race. Okay. And then we will put a bullet point down here that says they win. Winner receives champion. Oh my lord, I can't type. Champion's Medallion. Okay, let's see what else entails the rest of the holiday. In this race, participants may not touch street level at any time. Instead, they must run over buildings, bridges, and ruins in order to arrive first at the finish line. Wait, okay, so this just isn't a race. This is a parkour race. Wait, this is amazing. Parkour! It's a parkour race. This is dope. Contestants cannot touch street level at any point. They run over roofs, ruins, bridges, etc. That's so cool. Wait, I absolutely want a race like that. That's so cool. I want a parkour race. The race is not without its dangers, and contestants have been known to fall grievously injured or die in their attempts to win at any cost. Okay, maybe I don't want a parkour race. Maybe not. Okay, so people get injured or die because they want to win at any cost. Okay. People get injured or die from trying to win at any cost. Dang. What is that medallion worth? Like, is it even worth money? Hey, TK. Sorry I've been gone. What's new? We finished our history section and the war section of Candela Obscura. We are now working on writing out the holidays. Did you watch D&D again? What is the name of the group that you've been watching? Because I would love to look into their stuff, because I will bet they're fire. Now we're working on holidays, and we just figured out that the Gauntlet is a parkour race where you're not allowed to touch the street. You have to, like, jump roofs and bridges and, over ruins, and if you touch the ground, you lose. And that's fire. That is so cool. We'll see what the next holiday is. Perception Studios. They have puppets. Wait, are there D&D characters puppets? Because that's cool as hell. I'm going to look them up. Hold on. I'll look them up right now, and we'll see how cool they are. Perception Studios. D&D. Perception Studio. Oh my gosh, I just saw the puppets. Wait, they look so cute. Wait, this is so cool. Vampy, there is a D&D group that TK watches that uses puppets. This is so cool. Here, I will show them. Because I think that's absolutely cool. And we need to support all the people we can. Hold on. So it's not going to show you the whole perspective here because of the way I crop my things. That's okay if it's not for children. This community is adults only, so no worry. So it's going to crop weird. But this is Perception Studio that TK was watching. How dope is that? Look at the puppets. This is so cool. Halloween specials with puppets. Yo, shout out to Perception Studio. This is cool. Look at that. Look how cool they look. That's dope. Oh, TK. The words? TK, I hope you are enjoying the campaign that they're running, because that's what matters, is finding a campaign that you really are into and you can just kind of dive your heart and soul into being like, oh, they released a new thing, like, because that is what matters. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, the next holiday is the Great Airship Regatta. Damn, what does that word mean? The Great Airship Regatta. That's definitely not how you spell that, is it? It's hilarious? Oh, I'm glad. Are you a musical person? Is it kind of like Avenue Q energy? And if you don't know what that is, then never mind. Because I feel like that is the energy that it would give me. It's kind of like Avenue Q territory where the puppets are like horrifically adult. I think that would be cool. Okay, the Great Airship Regatta. A thrilling airship race in which the winner gets their name and airship number listed... Oh, we got hiccups. The hiccups are here. A thrilling airship race in which the winner gets their name and airship number listed in a grand display inside the new Fair Capitol building. Most participants train for years in order to qualify for entry into this famous competition. That's cool. So this is an airship race. And then we will put on a bullet point what they win. Regatta is when all the ships fly over. CTK, this is why I love having y'all in chat, because you know what these words mean. Meanwhile, I'm just like, we learn new things. It's a rich people activity. It's a boat race. I'm sorry, Theta. It apparently is an airship race. Although, to be fair, both are ships. Showmanship. There we go. It's a showmanship race. Oh, I love this. Wait, that's amazing. Also, it's definitely a rich people activity because especially in this time period, how much money must you have had to be able to own an airship? Like, you must have had a shit ton of funds to be having a personal airship. That is crazy. So, winner gets name and airship number in a grand display. Winner gets name and airship number in display at... You have to know the right people? Exactly. Like, you would really have to know... You'd have to be coming from some old money. It's like having a yacht. It's like having 3 yachts. Like, what kind of money do you come from, bro? At the new fair... And of course they show the people at the Capitol building. Of course, because the government definitely isn't funded by expensive rich people. What do you mean? Oh, Lord. Participants train for years to qualify for entry. Okay. Participants train for years to qualify for entry. Okay, and then we'll put famous into the actual name. So, famous airship race. Okay, what is the next, hopefully not only rich people holiday that they're doing? Let's see. The Festival of Illumination. I will bet I can guess what that one's about. I'm guessing that one is celebrating electricity. But we'll find out in a second here. Which I love playing with the concept that some people are very against electricity since it's just turn of the century and discovered. And it's not just discovered in our campaign, in our universe. Literally the first time anyone hears or knows or learns about electricity in this universe is when it's used as a nuclear bomb for war. That is the first time the public are informed of what electricity is. So I think it's rightfully justified that a lot of the people in the city are like, no, I don't want you to set up electric light bulbs. These are a bomb. Meanwhile, all the scientists are like, no, they're not. That's not. I really like that concept. I think that should definitely be a part of our campaign, is the differences in people being like, no, electricity's good and electricity's not good and all these things. So the Festival of Illumination. This is a festival meant to honor the fallen soldiers lost in the last Great War. Oh my god, I was so far off. Holy shit, I really said this is going to be a festival to celebrate electricity, when it is in fact the opposite. Oh no. Honor the fallen soldiers fallen in the last Great War. Okay. Whoops, Rachel shouldn't have said that. Thank God this is not a real life scenario, because that would have put the egg on my face real fast. Oh my gosh. Woo. That's funny as hell, actually. Citizens throughout the Fairlands gather with candles and small lamps in order to honor the spirits of the fallen soldiers and guide them home. Yup. Wow, I really just insulted these fake people. Okay. Citizens use candles and lamps to guide the fallen soldiers. Well, I guess it didn't say soldiers. No, it did. Okay. Soldiers' spirits home. Dang. Oof. Oh, sorry, TK. I'm sorry if I used that incorrectly. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. Sometimes I use they, them, and sometimes my brain just defaults to he, him. But we are trying to get better at it, so thank you for telling me. I will try and put she, her. Okay. The New Fair World Exhibition. It's cool. Sunglasses. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I personally go by any pronouns, so it's also another layer of like, okay, make sure you're like double checking what people's pronouns are, because I'd never consider my own, so it's definitely a step of me being like, okay, I gotta consider, which I'm happy to do. I just have neurodivergency brain. But okay, I got you. New Fair World Exhibition is our next holiday. Now, this one we heard about a little bit. The New Fair, and I think we actually put it in our campaign concepts. I think we put it as one of our ideas. Do they just call it exhibition in general? World Exhibition. Okay. World Exhibition. Okay. An annual gathering during which the brightest scientific minds present and discuss their latest inventions and discoveries. Okay. Oops. Annual gathering of scientists to display their inventions and discoveries. Okay. The symposium is accompanied by exhibitions and public demonstrations, in which grand, and at times unbelievable, displays are presented to all citizens. Okay, so exhibitions and public demonstrations to all citizens. Exhibitions and public demonstrations to all citizens. Usually grand. The first one was the end of the timeline. Oh, thank you, TK. I knew I had heard the word somewhere, and I was like, this phrase sounds familiar, but I can't pinpoint where we've heard it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I was like, I know we've heard it. Okay, that's our holidays. So the next one on here is the food and drink. Now, I don't see any terms in here, but let me make it its own category. This is so cool to have like a whole world built. And you never know, maybe we'll have someone, or maybe there is someone here who specifically is like a foodie and is like, wait, can I create the food and drink for our campaign? Like, can I just create it all? And that'll be their thing. And so we'll have a whole list of like different foods and drink that they can eat in the campaign. I think that'd be so cool. It really works with all these categories because maybe someone's a holiday person. They're like, ooh, I've got an idea for a new holiday, or things like that. I just love collaboration. It was Monday, so my long-term memory is better. Oh, I got you. That makes sense. Hey, then maybe next Monday, you'll really remember everything that happened in this stream. Since I only stream Monday, Wednesday, you'll have like 5 days. Corn dogs! Actually, you know what, TK? You're right. Corn dogs. I'm literally gonna put that on your list. Funnel cakes. Oh, I love fair food. Oh my gosh. I love fair french fries when they like drown them in butter and they come in a bucket. Oh, that's my shit. Or churros, funnel cakes. I'll have to rewatch. Listen, you do what you gotta do, TK. It's okay, I don't remember jack shit, so you're fine. I'm putting all of these down. Corn dogs, funnel cakes, churros. I know you didn't say churros, but it is now on your list. Oh, Lord. Okay, let's see what food and drinks they have already given us. Thanks to the wide variety of cultures that have found a home within the valley, an abundance of diverse food and drink can be found throughout the Fairlands. One common Halen meal is known as the Farmer's Feast. Ooh, okay. Farmer's Feast. Let's see. Thought it was? Yeah. Okay. Pilaf. What does pilaf mean? I'm gonna have to look up that word. I don't know what that word means. Pilaf. I've heard it. Oh, it's a rice dish. Oh. Oh, thought it. Oh, you thought churro. Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay, so pilaf. So they're just saying that this farmer's feast. Thank you. Yeah, I had to Google it because I was like, I know I've heard the word, but I can't remember what it is. So they're just saying that the things they're about to list are in rice. Okay. So rice with meat, carrots, onion, and extra fluffy rice. Okay, meat, carrots, onion, fluffy rice, which is my white people rice. Literally, like, it's so funny because people will be like, because I have like a horrible palate, and I'm like, oh, I just eat rice all the time. And they're like, well, what do you put in it? And I'm like, nothing, I just eat rice with butter. They're like, you put butter in rice? And it takes a good like 2 or 3 minutes before I go, no. The Minute Maid rice. Like the stuff you boil in water and it gets fluffy rice. And they're like, you mean white people rice? And I was like, yeah. I don't mean real rice. I mean like the, making it all, put it in the microwave, like. Yeah. That's my shit. Cooked in one pot over an open fire. Okay. We'll put it in a little thingy. Cooked in one pot over open fire. Okay. Every citizen has a different opinion on the proper way to prepare the dish. Which meats are best, if it should be served with or without the broth. There's broth? You didn't say there's broth. Or even the nuances of its robust spice blend. Thus, there are as many variations of the farmer's feast as there are cooks in the valley. Okay, so argue over how to prepare with or without broth. what kind of meat? And the last one was... oh, spices. Kind of spices. Okay, cool. Oh, I love learning. All right, what is our next one? It's a drink. The typical drink of choice in the Fairlands is a wheat-based beer sourced in tottergrass. So this doesn't have a name, so we're just gonna label it wheat beer. I don't know, it doesn't have a name. I'm not good at names. Wheat-based beer from tottergrass. See, the primacy is particularly proud of this drink, considering it patriotic to consume a beverage that is locally sourced, and thus encourages all citizens to partake. Wow, you don't see that very often where your government is like, please get drunk. It is patriotic to drink. Wait, I love that. That's hysterical, the idea that it's patriotic to drink. Patriotic drink since it's homemade. The primacy literally endorses it. That's wild. Absolutely wild, but I love that. I think that's going to be our only food and drinks because this section isn't very long. There's one more paragraph. Though illegal, the alcoholic drinks... oh, wait, so are you trying to say that the beer doesn't have alcohol? That must... okay, so maybe the beer doesn't have alcohol. Though illegal, the alcoholic drinks, smoking resin, and snuff, known as scarlet, are also found prominently throughout the region. Sourced from the sap of the trees in the scarlet wood, the substance is best known for producing a light hallucinogenic response. Though it has generations-long religious and recreational significance, the triumvirate regulates scarlet as a tool to debase and imprison the lower classes. Here we go, talking about real-world stuff. Painting them as immoral and hedonistic. Scarlet bars can be found across all portions of the valley, and illegal operations that produce the substance are both common and profitable within the Fairlands. So I think I already have a scarlet tab in here, but let me check. Scarlet. So I have scarlet in Fairplay, 756, scarlet, scarlet wood, hallucinogenic products made from the sap of the trees in the scarlet wood, which I think is what this said. Yep. Sap can make liquor, resin, powder, liquor, resin, and snuff, which I think snuff is chewing tobacco. So it's like a prohibition thing. That's weird. I think it is a prohibition style thing, which is definitely interesting. So I think what they did was they took the idea of drugs and alcohol and made it one substance and then put a prohibition around it. So it's the scarlet substance makes both illegal alcohol and illegal drugs. So that's what the thing that's hard to wrap my head around when I was originally reading it is the fact that it's like they're saying you can make any form. So it's not like weed and then alcohol. It's one thing, which is scarlet. It just makes all the different forms. So it's prohibition, but also drug war, like on all of it at once. I'll put snuff on here though, although I think, is snuff the chewing stuff or is that powder? Is this gonna have just something that's in my search history? Here we go. Snuff. Feather got to be inhaled through the nose. It can be chewed or inhaled. Okay. Is best known for producing light hallucinogenic, generations long religious and recreational significance. Let's put that under here. Religious and recreational significance. Snuff of that age is inhaled through the nose and pinches. Okay, because the only snuff, but I think now it's more chewing tobacco. Okay, because the only thing that I've heard of referred to as snuff is like the chewing tobacco cans. Because I used to work for my God, what are they called? A gas station. And when people wanted snuff, it was like the chewing tobacco. I didn't know that it could be inhaled. That's new to me. Huh. More you know. Triumvirate regulates Scarlet as a tool to imprison lower classes. So triumvirate regulates Scarlet as a tool to imprison... Whoops, not the word. To imprison lower classes? That's weird that they say regulate. I wonder if they do that in public. As immoral and hedonistic. Claiming they're immoral, hedonistic. Like, when they say regulate, that makes me think that they are in control of the Scarlet that is being sold. Like, I don't know what president it was, but there was, like, the idea that the government is purposefully sending out people to sell, like, weed and shit to lower class areas in order to get black and brown people in jail more often than others. So I'm wondering if they mean it in that sense, where it's, like, secretive. You could be wrong. No, TK, I think you're correct. Because when I Googled it, it said that it could be inhaled too. It said inhaled or chewed. So you're correct about that part. Scarlet bars can be found everywhere. And operations are common and profitable. Okay. Scarlet bars are common and profitable. Okay. Okay. Then I think we're going to move to this very short paragraph, which says weather and climate. So let's go back up to where we were, because I kind of want to keep things... I'll probably rearrange a few of these. It is a public link, so if you're ever on here looking, you're probably going to see me rearranging stuff, because my brain wants to keep it in, like, a very specific order, but it doesn't know what the order is while it's making it, which is kind of hysterical. Weather and climate. Okay. So I do want to take it back down to 13. Then we do a little boop. Alright, tiny paragraph on weather and climate. The atmosphere of the Fairlands resembles parts of the British Isles. I think, Theta, are you the one who said this, where it resembles British Isles back on Monday? Because you were literally so correct. Resembles parts of the British Isles, areas in the Pacific Northwest, and the coastal regions of southern Chile, to name a few. The valley is cool and rainy, with little variance between seasons. Oh, this is so cool. Cool and Fairlands Valley. So we'll say cool and rainy, little variance between seasons. There's a bit in Fantasy High where one of the PC's fathers offers his son's friends snuff, which they inhale. That's hysterical. Oh, I love that. I love getting the clips of Fantasy High. Oh my gosh. Everything about Dimension 20 is fabulous. Yes, it was you, Theta. You were on point. That's how you know that you are good with your knowledge that you bring to us every day. Oh my gosh. This is why I'm grateful for it. Okay, what else does it say? The bordering mountains feature shorter summers and extreme cold weather. Okay, so mountains, which is probably Bridleborn, but we'll just say mountains. Whew, hiccups. Shorter summer, right? That was the word I'm looking for? Yeah. Shorter summers, extreme cold weather. Okay, go ahead and bold that one. Though hail seems to grow colder each year, the land here is fertile and allows farmers to tend their crops and livestock to great success. So we're going to say fertile land for livestock and crops. That is an interesting aspect, which actually could be something we play with. The idea that, let's see, the Fairlands stays fertile even though the Shiver is making things colder. Because this, we could say, is it due to magic interference? Whether it's man-made, right? Like there's someone actively using magic, which a lot of the organizations who know about magic are fully against. So maybe there's someone underground trying to use magic to help the land and keep the place fertile. Or gotta step out with the pup? No problem, Fox Daddy. We're gonna be ending here in a few minutes. We got about 6 minutes till midnight, so take care of your doggo. Like a Wicker Man thing. Yeah, I just think it's interesting because, so if someone's magicking the land, then they would have to be like keeping things a secret, or maybe we could invent our own sort of faction that is utilizing magic to keep New Fair and the Fairlands healthy, that other regions in the country don't have and other countries don't have. Or we could say that it's naturally, because of Old Fair being built underneath it, and because Old Fair existed in a time when alchemists and their entire population were consistently 24/7 using magic, maybe the residue, or bleed is what they call it, from that harsh use of magic is what's keeping the current land fertile, even in the winter and even in the famine. That could be an interesting idea. We might play with that. We'll see how it goes. All right, we've got one more short one here that we can do. Oh, it's going to be, yeah, there it goes. If I keep it tabbed, it's going to mess it up when it does the title. So we got another one short one here. Bring it back up to the big boy font, and let's see. Health and wellness is the little short paragraph here. Health and wellness. Okay. We'll go back to 13. So, though emergency services do exist in New Fair, the quality of care depends heavily on where a person resides in the region. For example, those in the Eaves have access to faster and more reliable medical and rescue services than the citizens of Haven Hills. Okay, so we're going to make one for emergency services. And I actually want to space that down. So emergency services exist, but faster and more accessible for certain areas, like Eaves versus Haven Hills. Interesting. Like a blood sacrifice that occurs during other national events that drew more attention. Ooh. Is this for the land, TK? Are you talking about what keeps the land fertile? Because I kind of like that. That's really cool. I can put that down here. Let's see. Blood sacrifice that occurs during national events to keep land fertile. Yeah, that's cool. Consider a moment where Candela agent encounters a flower girl and is persuaded to buy a flower, but is fully aware of the crimes against nature that went into that flower. Ooh, that's a real complex character insight roleplay moment of, I know the damage and the trauma that made this, but you're just a little girl and you're just selling flowers? That's such a good concept, Theta. I like that a lot. I think that's cute. Let's see. I can probably put it on yours? Yes, okay. So, little girl sells flowers, but doesn't know the trauma that went into making them. I like that. That's cool. You guys have such good ideas. Oh my goodness, this campaign's gonna be awesome. Okay, let's see here. As such, medicine within the valley comes in a variety of forms. While some areas have a local folk practitioner or doctor that cares for the entire community, other areas utilize regionally operated hospitals. Okay, so doctors. We'll make a doctors tab. Smaller areas have folk practitioners or doctors that treat an entire community versus regionally operated hospitals. And I know we're about to name one because I remember one being in the lore. The medical system within the Fairlands and Hale at large is known for its advanced healthcare services. Within New Fair, the Grand Halen Hospital. Yep, that's what I was looking for. And I don't know if that's already. We're going to check. Grand. Yes, it is already here. New Fair Central Hospital. The Grand Halen Hospital became famous for spearheading the effort for using antimicrobial copper alloys. Okay, we're going to put that down here then. Let's see. Famous for using antimicrobial copper? Is that the word? Antimicrobial copper alloys. Copper alloys in operating theaters. Okay. All right, y'all. I think we're going to pause it there for tonight because that cleans up our health and wellness tab pretty well. We did a pretty good job filling out a bunch of this. We got through all of that history. Woo, look how much is in there. Wow, got through all the history. We did the holidays, we did the food and drinks. This has been awesome. I'm going to bring you guys back to me. Thank y'all so much. I don't know how to change this little bar, but I am going to send thanks again for the subscriptions and for gifting subscriptions. You guys are amazing, and genuinely, I love you all. Like, this community is fabulous. And I can't wait to continue building this story and these characters and these creatures. Bring people with you to chat. Tell all your TTRPG friends. GG indeed. Tell anyone you think might be interested, because the more ideas we have, the cooler this campaign is going to be when y'all finally get to see it. For my Twitch folks, I am going to send you over to someone. So let's see who is here for us tonight. We have... Oh, we have, okay, so Rainy Days is streaming. They are a lovely individual, and they are celebrating it says first rainy-versary. And I would guess that that's probably a streaming anniversary. But since they are having a celebration, I think it would be cute to go and raid them. I think that's a great idea. So that's where I'm going to send you to. Let me type it in the chat. Raid Rainy Days. Okay, guys. I'm going to send you over there. Feel free to at least say hi, and then if you gotta go, you gotta go. I appreciate you all. I can't wait to see you again on Monday. We're going to continue our work here, and we're going to have a good night. All right, we'll send that raid in. All right, here we go. Goodbye, y'all. It was good talking to you. I'll see you Monday. Goodbye, goodbye.